Welcome back to the Tales of Catacrach Dungeons and Dragons campaign. To do a little recap, it's essentially a double recap as we have technically had 2 episodes since last time. The first episode was a video which happened to be on my hard drive when said hard drive decided to die just before Christmas, and I didn't reach to get that edited and get it out. The other session was a pen and paper session that we did and didn't record, but it was fun either way. So here's a little recap of what happened. The players got out of the prison in Qa'Rajh Refuge, where they struggled mostly to deal with the clay path going up from the prison itself. They found a book stashed away in a quartermaster's room, which seemed to be out of place for a quartermaster. They dealt with looting a couple of chests and wrapping themselves up in, well, not particularly clean linen from beds, presumably used by goblins. Finally, out in the open, the players decided to leave the forest and not pursue further into the depth of the woods, where they saw tracks that probably resembled the goblins that they have been fought before, just in larger amounts. Out on the road, they came across a traveling wagon containing 3 characters: a dwarven fighter, a tiefling, and an elder dragonborn scholar. They all traveled along with these 3 characters along the Silver Trade Road west, reaching towards Cyndarr. However, when nightfall came, the dwarf who had the reins of the wagon decided to rest and lay in camp for the night. However, the night went on uneventfully, with no one hurt and nothing really happening. Early on in the morning, our group came across, or rather, our group was awoken by 3 mountain dwarf paladins. Paladins to Moradin, the dwarven god of forgery and justice. And the players then continued to point the dwarves in the direction of the altar beneath the prison, as the dwarves said that they were on what was similar to a crusade. The dwarves thanked the players very much for this information and went on back east towards the forest. Our players then continued, after having met the dwarves, into the city of Cyndarr, where we found ourselves in the Onyx Rooster Inn, a nice little cozy place led by a gnomish couple who greeted the players and the dwarf well. There seemed to be some sort of history with the dwarf and the gnomes, as he basically got his drink for free. The dwarf also decided to buy a couple of rooms for the players, as some of the players decided to try the drinks in the bar and didn't exactly have the stomach for said drinks. We now return the campaign with the characters that are awake, which is Azrael the Dragonborn. It is Mortis the human, and I think Marrakesh was also having a slight buzz, but wasn't exactly knocked out, unlike others. So we return where the bird and Sandriel is sleeping very tightly in beds up in the upstairs part of the inn. So the dwarf comes back basically down to the bar area where Azrael and the tiefling, the Nira, had entered. And Mortis, are you going to stay with Sandriel, or are you coming back down? You had not been drinking.
I mean, I could stay there, but I have to do that all the time.
It is completely up to you. I mean, you technically you were making sure that she got into bed, and follow the trail of vomit that she left behind on the stairs. Let's not go into detail with that. It's not needed. But essentially that you can. It's a free reign. It's about 4 in the afternoon.
I go exploring then.
All right. So you are currently on the upstairs part of the inn. There are a long hallway of rooms, and all of them pretty similar, with beds and cupboards and stuff like that. Most of them doesn't appear to be locked, as there isn't any guests at this time. You also see the dwarf coming out from the room with the bird in, essentially closing the door behind him and sort of patting his hands like with the job well done. And he gives you a silent nod and heads down towards the bar once again.
I'd like to head down with the dwarf.
All right, so you follow him around. Marrakesh, what would you like to do? You have a little buzz going, but you're not completely drunk off your knockers.
You know what? Sure, I'm gonna follow them down.
All right, so
The others are knocked out. They're not gonna do anything.
So yeah, let's hope for that. So essentially, Azrael and you notice standing with Nira a bit in the back of this inn. It's not a very full inn at this point. It seems that most of the people that go to this inn are people who work in the farms and people who are basically working most of the day. So you reckon that in about an hour, the inn will probably be a little more full than it is now. There are maybe 1-2 people sitting mostly for themselves and enjoying a drink or enjoying a meal. And Nira is essentially the tiefling. Essentially, she's standing close to you as she sensed that you were, at least from what she had seen, more sensible of this group of characters, and is essentially awaiting what you are doing. She seemed to have a tight relationship to the other Dragonborn, the scholar, who then left for the archive here in Cyndarr.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious to go out and look around the town because.
All right. So you head outside in the town square, and it's a nice summer afternoon. It's not overly hot, but definitely it's a nice clear day, and there's a couple of people out on the town square. It's not really like a market square per se, but there is one butcher who have come out with a stall basically of freshly cut meat for people to buy and to look at and such. Standing, there looks to be a couple of regular citizens. They don't appear like farmers, the people that are standing looking at the meat, and it appears to be it's relatively empty considering the size of this town square. There are a couple of what appears to be the town guard, essentially, which you've known as from the one guard you met outside the city walls to be more of a militia gathered from the people around the town who have just been giving basic armor and weapons training. You see a couple of them basically patrolling around the square, but they just seem pretty chill and they don't seem too aware of what's going on. And Nira follows you silently, but
yeah, I was about to ask if she followed me because
she seems to think that that is a reasonable idea. She also seems a bit uncertain of herself, like as to not knowing what to do with herself now that her other mentor have sort of giving her free reign for at least a month.
Well, I would like to ask her if she's been to this place before.
She seems to be, now that you are sort of on a one-on-one basis, she seemed to be opening up a bit more. She was very reserved and didn't really like conversation before, and she's like looking around and looking up at you, and she's like, I have never been here before. It's completely new to me. Essentially, awaits.
Well, need to have a look around.
So around this.
I don't want to leave her behind since she seems kind of.
Oh,
yeah,
well, she is
uncomfortable
content.
with being alone.
She is content on
As well.
following you around either way. So, and it isn't like there isn't a ton of people to get lost in. And well, around this town square, there are the three buildings that stand out. Is the large column-fronted archive that you know that the older Dragonborn was heading to. There is the inn which you've just come out of, and to your right is a large, what appears to be a stone building, completely out of cobblestone. The other buildings sort of have a cobblestone basing and then a timber binding on top, mostly white with black painted timber. And this one house is definitely looking out of place compared to the other houses. It's larger. It's almost looked like it's fortified, like a small keep within the town.
Interesting.
The tiefling sort of she sort of notice as she is standing. She seems to be standing a little behind you. Her tail is sort of swishing idly behind her, but definitely in a way that sort of she seems a bit impatient, but not. She doesn't want to push on. What she definitely seems to think that you're the more experienced of the two of you.
Well, I haven't been here before, so nope. The first place you mentioned, where was that? You kind of fell out. I don't know if.
The first place was to the left of the inn, on the left side of the town square from where you're standing. That's the archive to Cyndarr, which also stands out from the other buildings as it has these large, not exactly marble, but definitely some white or pale colored stone pillars outside, looking very Greek in its design, and it definitely seems older than the rest of the city. And you were told that the older Dragonborn, who called himself a scholar, was headed there to essentially study on the culture and movement of giants.
I think I would like to go there. I'm rather curious to see what they have on different subjects.
Okay, so you head towards the archive.
Yeah.
And
I'd like to have a look around.
And essentially, as you do, Nira follows you, but also says, I don't think Master Taskwill would want to be disturbed, but I think the archive looks big enough for us to be able to explore without disturbing him, but we should probably avoid making too much noise around him.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking of like looking for him, since I like to be on his good side.
He essentially gave off the vibe that I have been with enough people for at least a couple of years now. I need to be alone to study and
I have business I need to attend to. Please leave me alone.
That's essentially the vibe that you got off from him. So you head towards the archive with Nira in tow, and that means we jump back into the inn. So downstairs in the inn, you come down, Marrakesh and Mortis, you come down with the dwarf who's sort of, he doesn't go up to the bar. He already has his drink. He sort of sits down at a table, sort of looking at you. It's fairly close to the stairs, so he's just looking at you coming down. So what do you plan to do now?
Marrakesh gonna get fucking language. Gonna go over and sit at the table with him. Like, not on top of him, but like next to him.
That's also because of the height difference. He sort of strains his neck looking up at you, like, because you're sitting basically right next to him. Which seems he have gotten used to that. There's a very tall elf essentially around him, so he's sort of gotten used to needing to look up and await your reply.
Look up more than usual, you mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Since He's staring. He's gonna stare back and
Well,
just shrug.
he actually did ask you a question, so
Yeah, that's why he's shrugging. Like, I don't fucking know. I'm just here.
right. Well, he notices the shrug and he turns his head to Mortis, who is still in a mixture of these bed linen sort of semi-homemade cape that's still a bit. It's definitely not clean looking, but it's starting to look more like a natural brownish color than it was.
What kind of natural brown?
Well,
Shit.
definitely a shitty earthy brown with a mixture of clay.
Okay, so it's not entirely shit. That's good.
No.
Yeah.
Also, because if I remember correctly, you were one of the people that fell the most while trying to climb the clay wall.
I'm pretty sure I'm the one that felt the most. He
Well,
just laid down.
yeah. Well, essentially, he said the question of what you plan to do now. He said it loud enough for you both to hear, and given the fact that he didn't get an answer from the elf, he naturally turns to look at Mortis.
Can I just run straight out the inn?
Okay.
Totally random. Just
I mean, that answers it, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, it does, and so
Just
Mark,
like-
you notice that he's sort of shaking his head, like even for a dwarf who seems fairly careless to people he sees himself around with. This is definitely something he doesn't see every day. He actually seemed baffled, and for once seems to be at a loss for words. So Mortis,
Marrakesh just nods like it makes complete sense that it just ran out. like this is the meaning of the universe kind of nod.
right. So Mortis, you run out on this town square, and you notice that there's the well in the center. There's the large archive building to the left, and what appears to be this keep in to the right of you. There are also the essentially the road running through town. In either end of the town square. What would you like to do?
Out of interest, how full is the well?
Well, you can go up and check.
Is it almost toilet level?
No.
There
No, bro.
are some people standing around, essentially having a small everyday conversation about near the well. It seems to be sort of a gathering point if you're not heading into the inn. Two elderly women. One is having a batch of firewood under her arm, and the other seems to be carrying a basket full of eggs. Or they don't look like farmers, either of them, but they don't look like they have a lot of coins, judging by their clothing.
Damn.
And they stand by the well, but they're not using the bucket to get water from it. But you look into the well, and it seems to be fairly clean, regular cold water from a well. It's quite a bit down. I would say about some 20 feet, but it's definitely still water.
Can I try and get a bucket of water up?
Yeah, you pull the winch, and it doesn't make too much noise. Just it makes a bit of a
Squeaks.
scurrying. Squeaks a bit, but not in an obnoxious way. More like
Damn.
it is pretty well used. Well, haha, unintended.
Really?
I didn't think of that. So you pull up a bucket of water.
I'd like to wash my apparently shitty earthy clothes. Or fake clothes.
Okay, and well, you definitely you catch the attention of these two elderly ladies, both human. They sort of look at you. They don't say anything, but it definitely seems like it's not normal to wash your clothes in the well that people used for drinking water in the center of a town. But
He's gonna get arrested.
they don't say
I'm
anything.
not saving him.
They don't say anything to it. Also, this sort of brownish water sort of runs out on the stones and seeps into the ground. And your clothes seems at least cleaner than they were before.
Okay. Can I take a drink of the nice dirty water? Because that's me.
No.
Hey, he rolls Constitution like no one else.
That is true,
That
but
is true,
yeah, but you so
Disgusting.
you do that Constitution saving throw, please.
Sure. Where's my damn saving? Constitution.
Be on. That'll do. It's definitely you have tasted better. Also, you remember the dwarf actually offered to buy you a drink in the earlier episode, and to which you silently refused, sort of not answered, and to which the dwarf said, "All right, well."
Dogs
But
don't drink beer.
it's definitely you haven't you had a bit of a you haven't had a lot of water, so it's definitely the taste isn't great, but it's definitely satiates the worst thirst. All right, back.
Can I pour the rest of the water over myself?
Yeah, of course.
And
Wash
now
off
you're
the-
dirty again.
Wash off the remainder of the dirt a little bit.
It's definitely sort of seeping off, creating a sort of unclean pool where you're standing, and the ladies now definitely seem to be backing a little away from this strange, sort of savage-looking human with a lot of weapons to his person. Sort of backing a little way. That's really weird, but they don't seem to be too alarmed by it. Back in the archive again. So Asriel and Nero, you enter this large old-looking building, and there is sort of first off, there's a scent of books, old books and dust when you enter through the relatively large front door, and there's sort of a custodian who's sort of a halfling. He sort of looks at you and like, what are you seeking?
The book that I took from the keep.
Yeah, so the book covered in the black goop that you couldn't open because essentially the goop had sealed the book shut. He sort of looks at it. What have you done to this book? That could be valuable information.
I found it like this in a goblin keep.
Sort of looks at you suspicious, like essentially he have probably seen mage apprentices having done a similar thing to books before. He sort of looks at it, scratches his head a bit. The goblin keep, you say? They are not particularly known for being literate.
No.
He looks at it. Well, it seems intact, but I'm afraid I don't know. He sort of pokes the goop with a pen, like to determine what is this essentially. Well, I'm afraid I don't know how I would get that off. I am not bewildered into magic myself. I'm just here to make sure that people don't damage the books, really. Sort of, you can see into the back of this place. He just has a very small desk. After all, he is a halfling, with a couple of books stacked up by the side, and you can see in the back there is rows upon rows of tall shelves filled to the brim with books.
Nice.
And you cannot see the Elder Dragonborn anywhere. He seemed to be somewhere else in the building.
Essentially, I would like to ask him if he has any idea of a person or someone who would know anything about what is covering the book and how to maybe get it off.
He sort of nods, looks to be thinking about his situation for a while, and then it's like, well, it might be natural. In that case, an alchemist might be a good idea. If not, you'd have to ask at the Mages College in Catacrach. It's only a couple of days' travel away, and most travelers here are usually headed that way anyway. Is there anything else I can do for you?
Sorry, I mean, you fell out completely at the last part.
Oh, well...
For some reason.
He
After
says,
the alchemist part, if it's natural, let's seek an alchemist.
well, if not that, I'd ask at the Mages College in Catacrach. Most travelers here are headed that way anyway. It's in the center of town, but that would probably be my guess. And is there anything else I can help you with?
Is there an alchemist in this town?
Yeah, I believe so, yes.
Could you point me in the direction?
He sort of glances over like, why didn't you know this before coming in here? Sort of judgmental.
Sorry,
like,
I haven't been
basically, he's the archetype librarian. Like, don't ask anything that is unneeded, and don't make any noise, and don't really. He seems to be. If you ask him about books, he will probably know a lot. But if you ask him about anything else, he seems to be annoyed.
Awesome.
Well, he
try to be nice. Count to 10.
Sort of places his hands on his hips, like, when you go out from the archive, turn around to one of the back alleys, the one with the smithy. You can't miss it. He's always making noise. And follow down the alley. It sort of looks like, sort of looked like a shack more than a building per se, and you should find the alchemist there.
Thank you very much for your trouble.
You are most welcome. And sort of goes back to his desk and looked down to a book that he was reading. And Nira just silently nods to him and follows behind you. Yeah. Okay, I will need the people who were currently knocked out to have a Constitution saving throw to see if you are waking up or if you are really knocked out cold.
Well,
Sandriel seems to be. That bird is out.
I'm out.
That is a one sleepy bird. But Sandriel sort
to
of.
be fair, it makes sense I wake up quicker when I require half sleep of it.
That is
of
true.
the bird.
Even though this is sort of like, this is not a natural need for sleep. This is more like I overdosed on something that was too strong for my body to handle.
Well, my character didn't also like pass out. She kind of just slipped into a very spontaneous sleep.
That is true. It wasn't as bad as with the bird.
Yeah,
so
that bird is not gonna survive the night.
So
That bird's gone.
So you wake up, still feeling a bit, definitely not feeling too fresh or too.
I can picture it. You just hear the sound.
That is definitely the waking up, slight headache, nothing too bad, but definitely like, and you're sort of you don't know who, you sort of remember who dragged you up into bed, which was Mortiz, but more than that, it's probably not something that you recall too much about. So what would you like to do?
I would like to stumble downstairs, just, slow and steady, just down the staircase, try and see if there's anyone I know.
And you see, as you come down the stairs, you see immediately to the right of the staircase, you see the dwarf and Marrakesh, the odd couple, sitting by a table, and they they don't have a conversation. They seem to be just awkwardly staring at not the same thing, and definitely not at each other, because that's too weird. I think as the dwarf sees you, he lightens up. So definitely, now I have someone to talk to. You're awake. How's your head feeling?
Not so loud.
Oh, you'll be fine.
Like, I'm the one who dragged her up there. I'm sorry.
No worries.
Yeah, he dragged her up and I followed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You're a cleanup crew.
Yeah. He sort of looks at you. Well, it's a good thing you're awake. Not that I have paid for the room, so it's not a problem.
Well, I might come back to it later, since it should be good for tomorrow, yes?
I would say so, yes.
Wonderful.
So what are your plans now?
Well, I want to go find the greasiest thing I can eat off a skewer.
The greasiest thing? Well, you'd have to ask Aldo about it. I'm sure he'll make you something. And he sort of nods towards the bar where the female gnome is standing and wiping essentially plates and glasses off.
She looks vaguely familiar. Have I met her before?
Ah, well, you met her, and you also met the drink.
Yes, I see.
He sort of chuckles in his beard, sitting a bit smug at the table, definitely, but he doesn't seem to be teasing you more about it. At least not right now.
I shall walk up to the barmaid, and I say, Miss Alda.
It is
Alda?
It is Hilda. My husband's name is Aldo. What can I get you?
Oh, please, just the greasiest thing you can make for 2 gold coins. That is
That's a lot
actually
of money.
edible.
2 gold coins.
Just,
That's a lot of money.
fuck me up, fam.
She
No.
sort of calls out towards the back of the room. Aldo, we'll need something greasy. Would you have a lot of meat, or are you one who prefers something more light?
I'd like a heavy meal, something that the dwarf and the other elf, and I gesture down to their awkward table, would enjoy.
She sort of asks,
I think I'll share with them.
oh, so you'll have multiple portions. Well, two gold coins can't get you that. So sort of called out, Aldo, we need to have 3 portions of stew. Lots of grease. Yeah, you have right, lots of grease. So essentially you hear from the back, all right, I'll get to it. Sort of. And essentially, soon after, like some 20, 15 minutes later, you sort of get the smell of of well-cooked meat sort of being put in a nice stew together, and Aldo, the gnome, comes out with two plates in his hand. Well, I can't carry anything more, sort of, as he gets sort of a look from his wife at the bar. Essentially, I only have 2 hands. Sort of that old marriage couple bickering, like she why couldn't you just take three plates? Is essentially what her look is saying, and he's replying to that even without her saying it. And he puts them down at the table in front of you. Well, if you need anything else, I'll be out back. He sort of said, and after he had come back with the 3rd plate, sort of shuffles back into the kitchen once more, and you can hear him sort of clattering of plates, like cleaning and such, which seems to be what he's doing in this inn. And it's a very heavy stew, and the dwarf looked at it. Huh! Ordered by an elf, nonetheless. Didn't know you were into that kind of stuff. Sort of digs in with the spoon and definitely takes a decent bite, and he's, as you've seen before, he's kind of a sloppy eater, so almost instantly gets part of stew in his beard.
I would just like to start slowly pouring the soup down my mouth. Just with the entire bowl just pouring slowly. No need for spoons
That's
here.
a stew. That's disgusting.
It's a stew, and it shall go down my throat, nice and smooth. That's
well,
what
we
the
know who
grease
doesn't
are
have
for.
a gag reflex in this group.
Well, that is a useful skill.
So Marrakesh, how are you eating this?
Marrakesh isn't eating that. He'll look at it, sniff it, and just push it towards the others. It's like, nah, mate, I'm not doing that.
I shall look at Marrakesh with a definite feeling of insult emanating from my face.
That is disgusting.
The dwarf it seems like he's almost deliberately taking a bite, taking a spoonful before he starts talking. Like, oh, we're not all elves are into that kind of stuff. I've met several that only eat vegetables. Crazy elves, I tell you. He sort of chews up and...
No idea what you just said.
Well, essentially a dwarf talking with a mouthful of stew. talking
Okay.
about how some elves prefer, vegetables, not that.
Yeah.
So
Yes, I think our friend here is rather picky considering what an expensive meal I've just gifted him. But go ahead, Mr. Dwarf. Take what you'd like.
he sort of, sort of looks up at you like, are you being serious? Free meal? That's wonderful. sort of grabs the bowl and drags it over to him. Begins to eating that again. There's
He's gonna
definitely
be my best friend forever. This is the second time I'm giving him extra food.
he also you like to talk, and he likes people that like to talk. So he definitely seems to be happy about that.
You guys are gonna make good use of that room.
Oh yeah, bow chicka bow wow.
I doubt it. So Mortis out on the town square again. There's now beginning to come. It seems like the working day is sort of over for most of the farm people. They definitely come in from the west and seem to be carrying their tools, and most of them are headed towards the inn and to get a drink before heading home for the evening. Definitely starting to fill up a bit more of this town square. There's also a couple of travelers coming in from the east, seemingly. You notice two riders, two mounted persons in large brown coats and wide-brimmed leather hats. They seem to be rushing a bit. They're definitely the horses definitely have with pearls of sweat in the coat. Essentially, they've been riding pretty hard. Is what you gather from this side. They sort of ride across this town square, careful not to barge into people. They're definitely not going slow compared to what you'd normally do inside of a relatively large city.
And there's still people around me in the square, right?
There's definitely people gathering, talking about how their working day is, what they've seen, or other things.
Okay, I'd like to shake the remainder of the water off.
Okay. It definitely gets on a couple of people, and there's like sort of people are definitely looking at you like, what aren't you aware that there are other people around you, like? But no one really seems to say anything about it. It's not that much of a bother. So the two cloaked figures, they essentially, as you saw with the dwarf, as he's put the wagon behind the inn for essentially a stables back there. The two cloaked characters also dismount and drag their horses in behind the inn. Shortly thereafter, comes out and enters the inn again.
Can I go bounding back into the inn like I did on the way out?
Yes, of course. You essentially come in a bit after these two characters have entered. And for the people inside the inn, you also see these two. Normally, you just see a lot of what looks to be mostly farmers and regular townsfolk coming in for their evening meal or for an evening conversation or for a drink. And you definitely
table.
Yeah, but these two characters definitely stand out. They don't appear to be from the city. Also, there seems to be dirt and such on their relative. They have essentially long trench coats and these very wide brimmed hats made of dark leather. And as they approach, you also notice that they sort of have a collar made from essentially plated iron, and they definitely seem,
basically.
They definitely appear to be able to handle themselves if a situation should arrive.
Yeah, Van Helsing.
Essentially, if you think about Van Helsing, that's pretty much how they look. They both appears to be human of sort of size and.
Having lived in the city before, my character being high-rise kind of person, would she recognize these types of people?
Give me a history check.
Yes, sir.
You don't know these per se, but you've definitely heard stories about people in long coats and with these wide brim hats before. They seem to be some sort of, if not adventuring group, then at least some sort of, definitely because they have the same sort of, not uniform, but definitely the same type of armor and the same type of dress
Do I
code.
remember if it was like from notoriety? I remember them, or like are they notorious for something or famous for something? Since I know of them.
With that role, you don't know.
Okay, so I
appear
don't remember if what I remember is bad or good.
No, and they seem to definitely have a conversation, but they seem aware that other people are definitely noticing them, and they're definitely keeping their voices down. If you make a perception check, you can see if you can hear what they're talking.
Ooh. Oh.
There are bits and words that sort of stand out. One particular word that you hear is the name Ghoul Water. But other than that, it's a lot of names that you wouldn't have heard of before, and it seems that they're definitely going somewhere. They also don't appear to be ordering any drinks. They have ordered a light meal, is what you've heard.
Can I do one more thing? Mortiz came in the door, right?
He came in a little bit after them, essentially.
Yes, so I'd like to call him over, like, come here, boy, and then put the rest of my bowl on the floor.
Yeah, so you couldn't even
Wow, he
eat
has
your
just turned
expensive
I
meal.
ate half of it.
Okay, so you do that.
I'm a small elf, okay?
And I'm a large elf, those raised better than to eat crazy shit.
And Mortiz is just the dog of the group.
He's a literal garbage can.
Wow.
It's because we can't be bothered to keep companions, so we just had him.
Wow.
Okay, so you do that, and the dwarf
Feel
sort
the
of
love.
essentially, as you do that, the dwarf is sort of finished with his second potion, the potion meant for Marrakesh. He's sort of, that was good. So you're all together. Well, I saw the dragonborn and the tiefling. They headed out. Don't know where they were going. Did you perhaps see them when we were out there? He sort of says to Mortiz.
Where's the bird?
He's sleeping. He's out cold.
I'm asking the dwarf.
oh, I haven't seen him. I reckon he's still sleeping.
Drunk.
The dwarf asked if I saw the dragonborn.
Yeah, he asked if you saw Asriel and the tiefling Nira.
I'd like to excitedly run over to the bowl and absolutely try and destroy it. And just look up at him, shake my head, and then go back to destroying the bowl.
He sort of scratches his chin.
Messily getting it everywhere.
He sort of scratches his chin like he sort of was expecting this to happen, and sort of shrugs his shoulders, essentially pushing the two bowls that he's now finished in front of him, so patting his chainmail stomach a bit. And we head to Asriel and Nira. So you head outside the archive once more and follow down this path where the halfling inside the archives essentially told you that there is an alchemist, and you come up on this. It's sort of like a back alley. The houses are definitely closer together. There's barely room for a wagon to drive through here. Not a lot of people at this point. A few people going seemingly to and from their homes and potentially towards the inn. It seems like the common people of Cyndarr don't really care much for the archives, but they don't seem to mind it either. And up ahead, at the end of this alley, you see what looks to be a ramshackle shack. A small, it's a bit bigger than the average tool shed you'd see in gardens and such, and it definitely looks like someone could do with the boards that make up the roof are sitting crooked, and it definitely doesn't appear to be good housing.
Well, first of all, how late is it now?
Well, it's about 5 p.m.
High noon.
No.
No.
Denied.
No, I was just wondering if it would be proper to show up at this time. That was why I wanted to ask.
And Ira is sort of looking at you expectantly, like, you take the lead here, essentially. But she have been staying a bit behind you for pretty much the entire time, so. So what do you do? There isn't any windows to this. It looks very much like a small shed. And definitely a lot smaller than any other of the buildings.
Well, I would like to go over there and knock on the door.
And the door also seems to be. It's definitely
carefully.
It's definitely made in the same. It's definitely made in the same style and quality as the rest of this shed. And as you knock, it's essentially it's not. It doesn't fall off its hinges, but it definitely opens with the top hinge sort of whinging a bit as you do. It seems like it have not been oiled well, or is crooked from weathering, and the door sort of opens like you could probably stick your head in just from you knocking. It seems like this door can't really be locked properly, and you look into this dark sort of. It smells a bit odd in here. There's a mixture of spices and mildew at the same time, and you see sort of plants hanging from planters up along the roof, sort of reaching down to the bottom. It seems very much like it's as close to overgrown as it pretty much can get. And you also hear from the back somewhere, it appears to be a lot larger on the inside than what it actually seemed like, just from looking at it. And you hear sort of a shuffling, and our voice comes out. Yes, who's there?
A traveler who seeks some information.
Hold on. You sort of see like a bush being pushed to the side. It's like this small elderly human male coming out, looking like he's hunched over and sort of supporting himself by a cane. And he looks up at you like, yes, you'll have to excuse me. I'm a little deaf.
I would like to take out the book and ask him if he would have any idea of what the sticky stuff.
As you pull the book out, essentially, and holding it out towards him, he sort of shuffles up a lot faster than you would expect. It's sort of going up. Essentially, what if you're holding it out at like hip height, he's essentially that's right above where he's headed. So he's very, very small for a human. He sort of like snatches the book pretty violently, actually, for a man of what appears to be his age, and then grabs the book, and then he's like, "This is weird."
That's not my character laughing. Just to make sure.
He seemed to be studying this book very closely and sniffing to this black cover. Maybe sort of makes a lot of investigative, but not really actual noises that you can't really discern if he's trying to say something meaningful. He sort of looks at it. Yes, what do you want to know?
Do you know what is keeping the book closed or stuck together?
Are you interested in the book? Oh, yeah, I thought you were interested in the rat. That. He sort of shuffles back, and he's like, you can hear him pushing stuff over. There's definitely some jars that being pushed on the floor and shattering as he does. He doesn't seem to have too much of not essentially a shop. It's more like he lives there and studies there and whatever it is that he actually does. And he's sort of like, yes, and sort of comes out with a small, almost glass jar. It seems like and inside you see a similar black matter essentially in the bottom of this glass jar. Yes. This is mage rot. Very potent stuff. Can I have it? He sort of looks up at you very expectantly, like clutching the book as in one hand, like this is very interesting to him. Doesn't seem to be too interested in the actual book itself, but it seems like black stuff is something interesting to him.
Awesome. Interested in the black stuff on the book. Is it possible to remove the black stuff without damaging the book?
Without damaging? He sort of seems to be staring up at sort of.
Why would you not damage the book?
He really doesn't seem to care about the book. So he's like, well, mage rot is. It can be done. Yes. But it's expensive. Yes, it's very expensive. It takes a long time. You need a salve to. He sort of seems to almost break into a stuttering that almost carries on for a good minute, where he's just trying to get out the words. Like he's really excited about this. And Nira behind you, you can hear her sort of taking a step back towards the exit of this shed. This is perhaps too weird for her, and she's sort of like, yeah, I can make it. It will take time, but yes, I can make it.
You seem rather interested in this black goop.
I could always add it to my collection.
How much and how much time?
He sort of looks at the book. For the size of this amount of we'll need some ingredients and then the work hours at 50 gold. Yes. He sort of looks expectant at you, like, are you going to pay that now? Because then you.
I would like my book back, and I will think about it.
He looks very sad at this. Not so much because you're not paying him, more that he's losing the black goop that he was very interested in. Sort of, he realizes that he probably shouldn't be keeping it when he realizes that you are the owner of this book. Though he would really want it for the sake of the goop, he's not going to steal it from you. He's just like hands it back. Well, if it's still interesting, you know where to live.
That I do.
Was that all?
Yes, that was all.
All right, he sort of shuffles back into digs in behind this bush that he came out from before, and just leaves you in this very weird place.
Interesting.
and at this point, Mira is almost out the door. Like, I am not dealing with that guy.
Yep. Well, I am done with what I wanted to do, so I shall take my leave.
Nira sort of nods as you do, which seems like this is probably the wise thing to do. I don't think we'll be getting
finally we're leaving.
Yeah. She sort of. Well, that was unfortunate. I'm afraid I don't have the gold needed to procure this either. But maybe we could, if you don't mind, we could go back to the inn and then talk to the others. Maybe they have an idea. She sort of seemed to almost curl her tail around herself, like she don't really want to say this, but now she is.
Aww.
Perhaps they might. They also might not. But nevertheless, I would like to get something to eat as well.
So that seems a good idea. Yes.
just missed the all-you-can-eat buffet.
Bird, I'll need you another Constitution save though, because it's now been a
You're
while.
still
So.
dead.
Well,
This is in reality death saving throws.
so we head back into the inn, and have we lost a bird?
Or no.
Bed.
Yeah, I'm here.
Constitution saving throw, just to see if you're finally waking up. All right.
Yeah, that should do it.
Woo!
All right.
It's
Um,
Back
alive.
for you.
You wake up in this. You wake up in a fully prepared bed, except that you've just been dumped on it. The dwarf haven't really been tucking you into bed and placing you nicely. You are on the bed, but that's about as far as the comfort of the dwarf goes. So your head
It
is
would be so fun if it was just in the near vicinity of the bed.
no.
Just on the floor somewhere.
One leg on the bed.
Essentially, you wake up and you have a pretty bad headache. If Sandriel had a headache, you definitely have a bad headache.
Do I have my backpack nearby?
Does he have a concussion?
No, because it was mostly his beak and not so much his forehead that hit the bar.
Okay.
But I asked, are my backpack nearby?
Yes,
I'll take my water skin and empty it.
and you get definitely a bit more awake and a bit less drowsy, but there's still a pretty bad pounding inside of your head. But you are definitely at the point where you can walk, and if you could talk to people.
You
Yeah.
can peek.
So, how much do I remember?
Nothing.
My character doesn't remember
wisdom.
anything.
Wisdom saving throw.
Oh shit.
Wow.
That's a good roll.
You actually remember quite a lot from the day before, which is surprising given how fast you were to be out cold. But it stands very clear for you.
Okay, at what point did I lose it? Was it just before I drank or a little bit before?
Or when I cuddled him.
I was already out cold there.
Yeah, he was out cold there, so he doesn't remember that. But essentially, it was right before you drank, up to that point.
Okay.
So are you going to move down to the inn?
Yeah, I'm going downstairs.
Okay, and sort of slumping down the stairs, and there's definitely more. There's a lot more people now than when you first entered. Mostly farmers sitting, talking to each other. Some of them are a bit dirty looking from whatever they have been working with, dirt, potatoes, and such. And you also notice the two cloaked figures. They have particularly set themselves in sort of like a booth with dividers, so that they can be in a bit more peaceful areas than the rest of the. It's not a rowdy tavern per se, but there's definitely now that people have gotten home from work and started dwindling, there's definitely a lot more noise just from conversations being had all over the place. And you see the dwarf, Sandriel, Marrakesh, and sitting by the table, and Mortiz below the table.
What?
And at this point, Asriel and Mira also enters the now pretty full inn.
Well, I'm going to stumble over to the table where the others are.
The dwarf sort of looks at you, but at this point he just chuckles a bit, and you see remains of stew still sitting in his beard. Doesn't seem to care about it that, or he doesn't seem to know that it's there. He just chuckles a bit for himself, like, maybe that'll learn you not to drink stuff that you don't know about. So, but essentially the dwarf, I'm assuming that Asriel and Nira also sort of goes to the people that you know.
Mm.
Yeah. So the dwarf says, well, that's been a quite unproductive day, hasn't it? we could head out for Catacrach tonight. We'll be traveling through an area of farmyards. Not really a great concern, but I'm not in a hurry. We can stay for the night if you want. I saw some of you might be looking for earning a little bit of gold, right?
Oh yeah.
He's
not.
sort of looking around at you.
I'm just nodding at him.
Well, I don't per se have a job, but I would reckon asking the marshal here in town if he needs help with something. Typically, you'd have the marshal ordering mercenaries and adventurers for regular people if it's within the borders of the law. He sort of looks expectantly at you. I don't know the man per se, but he seems to be a kind man from what I've heard about.
Show us the way.
Oh, well, it's easy. It's easy to find. It's the large building on the opposite the archive. Can't miss it. Looks like a small castle.
Sounds interesting, but I would like to get something to eat first.
Ah, of course. Without food in your stomach, a hero cannot work. Sort of pats his own fairly rotund stomach at this point.
Can I walk off and try and get Mortiz to follow by going like, "Come on, boy! Come on, boy!"
I would just treat his character like a dog at this point.
Come on, boy!
My character decides to
Come on,
lift
boy!
an eyebrow, even though I don't have eyebrows, but whatever.
An eyebrow.
Lift a brow.
Are you heading
An
out?
eye scale.
Are you
Yeah.
heading out of the inn, or are you just?
Yeah, I would just like to, walk towards that building and see
So
if I can just
Essentially,
locate the
essentially, you are walking your barbarian. That's
Yes.
usually.
I think he needs to be aired a little bit. Have a pee break and stuff.
Find a space of green grass.
Wow. I just imagine Sandriel taking out a piece of rope and around Mortiz's neck and just go like, "Come on, we're leaving."
Oh yeah.
Oh God.
No.
With my strength, I think that's dangerous.
He's gonna be dragged across the floor.
Well, so essentially you do that, and the town squares now. Most people have either gotten to that destination, which is for most people the inn, but you also see a small handful, like 5 or 6 farmers, all with pitchforks and standing around the entrance to this essentially a keep within the town on the right side of the town square from where you're standing. And they seem to be sort of waiting. They don't seem to be shouting or anything. They just seem to be waiting for essentially for something inside. As you do, Asriel, you order a meal, and it takes a bit for Aldo to prepare it and for Hilda to order it. Also now with a lot of people in both in the bar and by the inn, there's a lot of people needing stuff, whether being it drinks or food. Not really anyone seeming to be interested in rooms for the night, as what you notice, and gives you the food and hands Nira the very light meal that she ordered. And the dwarf sort of looks expectantly at you, like respectfully awaiting that you eat. So are you going to the marshal? Essentially,
I might. It sounds rather interesting.
Hey.
But you seem like a person who knows a lot of people.
Well, I've been traveling a lot. Been on this trade road for 50 years. Well, nearly 48, but yeah.
Have you ever spoken to the tiny human living in the broken down shed here in town?
Oh, you met the alchemist?
Yes.
I heard someone call him Steven. I've seen him in town. He appeared to be very interested in some dandelions growing between some rocks. I don't really have an interest in plants myself. So the man is I don't know about him.
Okay. I just happened to speak to him today. He seemed a bit off.
Well,
But maybe it's just his normal.
yeah, I don't know much about dandelions, but if you're someone who spends most of their time looking at plants, there must be something wrong with your head.
While this conversation is going on, Marcus is just gonna pull out his playing cards and start shuffling them. And his playing cards is zodiac cards because, of course, they are. He's a fucking witch.
Yep.
How is there anything else? I just start like laying out cards with their backs up
Okay.
in front.
So as you finish up your meal, essentially the dwarf looks at you and like, I don't need to see the marshal. Well, you can go there, but if you need me for an adventure, I'll be right here. Sort of sits himself down, seems to get more comfortable in his seat. So are you all going to essentially talk to the marshal?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think so.
Okay, so you all take off and head across the town square with Sandriel and Mortis being slightly ahead, and you all notice this group of farmers standing. They're not blocking the entrance to the keep, but they definitely seem to be waiting for something going on inside. But as you approach, they sort of step to the side and allow you inside, and where I will have to change the map.
Can we take a break
Can we
whilst?
please a break?
We can take a break. It is perfectly fitting for it now. I will move you in the meantime.
Wonderful.
Wonderful, yes. And we are back from the break. We enter as the group have just gone into what appears to be from the outside looking like a small keep inside the town of Cyndarr. They were on the quest to look for the marshal of the town, as appointed by Qa'Rajh the dwarf, for the sake of eventually earning some money. So as you've gone through this small crowd of farmers who were standing outside, and you're now inside this fairly solid-looking building. The first thing that you see is that the hall is essentially a very large but mostly empty room. Immediately to your left, you see two guardsmen standing by a stone staircase leading downward. It seems a bit dark down there, but you can definitely see them. They appear to notice you, but they don't seem to be doing anything right now. Further up ahead, you also see another guard standing idly by with a bow at the ready. He doesn't have it loaded, it's on his back. He just appears to be sort of looking over the situation. What catches your attention is slightly off, close to a fireplace that's lit in the back of the room. You see a fairly large and burly looking farmer standing over the desk to which another man is sitting. And as you sort of move closer, you can do that on your own behalf, you can begin to hear a bit of their conversation. It appears the farmer he seems slightly agitated. That is not how you move a character.
I'm measuring.
All right. Well, essentially, you can go up to a certain point, and when you get to about there, this one steps out to sort of halt you back and say, "The marshal is busy right now. Please wait until your appointment is up." Sort of keeps you at bay, keeps you at distance. Still with his bow on his back, sort of. He respects sort of, and the bird's moving up to him, and he's sort of like, "Could you not do that, sir? Thank you." And you overhear the conversation. Please don't do that. Yeah, I did.
People are just assaulting the poor fellow.
He's just a town guy. He's just trying to do his best, okay? So you overhear this conversation, and it's sort of broken as you appear to be entering in the middle of it. You can hear the farmer, he's definitely a big farmer, looking fairly buff, but not. He doesn't look athletic per se. He sort of say, if you're not doing anything about it, how can we get compensation for our livestock loss? You can hear the other voice being more calm and more reasonable and sort of saying, we're doing everything that we can. I already have sent a guard member out to investigate, but I have not yet heard from them. Well, we need something done about it now. And as he sort of says, the farmer sort of says this, you can hear that he places a hefty bag of coin pieces on the table. He slams it down. Here's the money needed to buy some mercenaries for the job. I expect it done, or we maybe will have to find a new marshal for the town. As he turns around, he sort of saunters out of the place, past all of you. He doesn't really seem to care about either of you, but he definitely noticed that you're there. So sort of like he's in his own mind. Goes off.
Can I approach him?
The farmer or
the marshal?
Essentially, just aware. And Nira moves with you, staying at the back. The guard sort of looks over his shoulder, seeing that the farmer has left, and like, well, go ahead. The marshal will see you. And you can go up to the marshal, and he's a human, sort of not old looking, but definitely looking like he's probably around his mid or late 40s, judging from his. He's not particularly large. He definitely doesn't look like he has the body of a fighter. He looks up at the group that you're around with Maltese shuffling around, which he doesn't seem to care all that much about. Yes, how can I help you?
I hear you have an issue we may be able to solve.
Sort of looks up at you, sort of glances you over. Well, you do look like the adventuring sort, if I say so myself. It just so happens that the man who you just saw leave have a bit of an issue. And, well, he sort of slides the coin purse back over closer to himself. A reward is in order if the issue is solved. What is essentially going on is that a couple of the farmers out west in Cyndarrian fields have been losing their cattle. They've seen blood traces, but haven't found any carcasses or any of the cows alive. And obviously it is of my concern, but at the moment I can't do much about it. You may have heard that I've sent a guard member out to investigate, which was earlier this day, actually, this morning. And I honestly expected them to be back at this point. But unfortunately, the guard member in question has a history of being a bit of a hothead and believing that she is able to handle things that she may not actually handle. I fear that she may be in trouble.
I have but one question for you.
Yes?
What can we expect to encounter if we do help you with this? What is the local wildlife and the sorts like?
Wildlife? Well, there are sometimes a couple of wolves that go into the pens, but they normally don't take entire cows, and even so, there's usually the bones or half-eaten remains left. Here we're talking about the entire cows being gone, only a couple of blood splatters being left. I'm afraid I don't know much more about it. There's not a lot of wildlife going on around here. This is farmland, as you probably know, if you have been here before.
How about goblins?
Goblins? Sort of looks wondering. No, not to my knowledge. But if it's something that can remove entire cow carcasses, it might be something like that. I don't know. But as far as I know, the guards member in question was last seen out by the mill. It's about an hour's journey west and north. I would go there first if I were to investigate. They may know something at the mill there. Are you willing to take the task?
Can I barter with him?
You can try. What are you trying to barter
I would
for?
like to try to get him to give us a deposit, so we can go and spend coin on armor and weapons, whatnot.
To start with, make an insight check. All of you can do this if you want. I will do that for... click up and get her out. And Qa'Rajh's sheet and
You know nothing.
Wow.
Damn.
Oh shit.
To those of you who have above 15, so Sandriel and Nira essentially, he's definitely hiding something. It seems that he knows this town, this guard member, a bit better than what he seems to be laying on. Nira saw closely from the back, essentially almost hiding behind Sandriel and Mortis says, It's one from your family, isn't it? And at that comment, he saw the man sort of, he sighs heavily and looks up at all of you. Yes, it happens to be my daughter. She have always been a bit brash and in her action. To be honest, I fear that she might have gone into something that she doesn't really know how to handle. Please, if you find out what is going on, I will definitely reward you handsomely for bringing my daughter back, or at least bringing news about her back. And he seems to be having struggles at like getting a lump in his throat, and seems to be actually really caring about this. So he seems honestly really concerned and worried. I wish I could do more to help, but I also have a city to keep watch over. Will you please take this task? Sort of begging you.
I'm looking over to the others, just looking at them like, can we do this?
The bird's just like, please, do it. You do it.
Of course, we can help you. But it would be beneficial if we had some better tools for the job.
Some tools.
Well, weapons or armor. As you see, ours are quite tattered and old.
He sort of looks you over. Well, I can see what you mean. We have our guard barracks right down in the basement, along with the city prisons. I can order my guardsmen to give you some of the gear if needed, but I'm afraid it's nothing special. It's common town's guard gear. But you are free to look at it, of course, if you can. Anything to help rescue my daughter if she is needed. And he essentially points you towards the staircase back here.
I'm off to the staircase.
Let's go.
Yeah, the staircase.
Oh.
You are. Yeah. So you pass the two guards that stand by this, and they nod. essentially understanding that you're heading in. And you see another guard with a crossbow standing in the hallway. It appears to be that these are prison cells, and that there doesn't seem to be anyone in them. But you can definitely see that 2 of the cells have definitely seen visitors recently. And at the end of the hallway, there's another guard with a halberd, essentially looking at you, and he's like looking at you as sort of a bit of a burly type. It's like, yeah, what can I help you with? You don't look like prisoners, so I assume you are allowed to be here.
We need armor and weapons for our quest. We are to help the Marshal with finding his daughter.
Marshall, eh? Well, Qa'Rajh gone missing once again. Ah well. He sort of moves over to these chests over here. Alright, I got a bit of stuff here. Couple of long swords, some hand axes, shield. Let me see. He sort of digs through the other chest. Studded leather armor, scale mail, a hand crossbow. I think I have some bolts lying about somewhere as well. He sort of digs through other parts of the chest and digs up whatever he can.
You wouldn't happen to have a longbow?
A longbow? No, I'm afraid not. We have a few of the town's guard that use them, but it's quicker to learn how to use a crossbow.
Yes, I see.
Can I take the bolts? Just as many as I can fucking carry.
He hands you a bag of there are 15 bolts in it. You don't want the hand crossbow, and it's sort of like a small, very small hand crossbow that looks very light compared to the regular sized crossbow.
Is it better or worse than a light crossbow?
It is worse. It doesn't have as much range, but it can be used with one hand essentially.
Oh, I don't give a shit
So
about
you
that.
can have a shield.
Essentially, yeah. Or you could have 2 and go like a John Woo style.
Did he have a short sword?
He has a couple of long swords.
Damn it. Can I make it a short sword?
Can I shrink it?
Not unless you have a smithing tool and time, which I presume that you have.
Can I take 3 or 4 more hand axes?
Yeah, he has 2 hand axes.
Sure, I'll take another 2. See if I
Right.
can stick them somewhere as well.
I would like one of the long swords.
All right. So
I'll grab the little hand crossbow.
okay. Do you have any bolts for it?
No, but I'm just gonna pick up whatever he leaves behind.
Okay. So you can all add that to your gear. He sort of looks at you. That'll be all.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't think I have any other gear, right? But he sort of leans into as if you didn't know this at first. The Marshal may not seem like it, but he cares very much about his town's guard and especially about his daughter. Please bring her back in one piece if you can.
We shall do our best.
Thank you. Nothing more can be expected.
So where did he say we have to head? Should we leave now or?
It's like early evening now, isn't it?
It is about 6:30 in the evening, yeah. So it's definitely getting dark, or at least darker than it was.
Why did the bird turn?
Good at Maltese, man.
What the hell?
Hooray.
This is why you don't give your players free reign.
Oh. And Maltese hasn't even drunk anything.
So
Like,
essentially, you have to decide whether you are heading out now or if you are heading out tomorrow.
it was an hour away from here, right?
Yeah.
So it'll
What?
definitely be dark when we
Yeah,
get
it
there.
would be getting close to dark.
But we have a lot of people with dark vision. We
And-
could get a head start.
Does
And
anyone of us have like a light spell for the rest of them, or a torch?
I have a light
Well,
spell.
you should all have pretty much have torches pretty much everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I've got
I
explorer's
I can,
pack.
I can also make anything light up. I have a cantrip for it.
Yeah.
Remember my terrifying red barrel?
Yeah.
Yep.
And essentially, you also, as Nero points out, should we ask the dwarf if he wants to come with us? He said if we needed him, we could go and ask.
I'm just gonna shake my head.
You don't want the dwarf with you?
No.
I'm just gonna nod. Yeah, want him with us. Dude's
The
badass.
more the merrier, and less likelihood of death.
Well,
If he can keep quiet so he doesn't alarm everybody to our presence, then it's fine with me.
Nero sort of. It's not directly a smile, but well, that might be a bit more problematic than.
I'm just gonna stand there and give Ezreal a right. So,
If we can't find the things that have taken this, we shall return and then come and get the dwarf. What do you think of that?
Well, she sort of seems to feel really uncomfortable now that something had put her on the spot, and she seems to be regretting that she actually spoke up.
I think that would be fine.
Yes.
But we could tell him that we're leaving.
That might be a good idea.
He did pay for rooms for us, so.
Yes.
Okay. So-
I was thinking, did we have a long rest? Like since the battle and all that?
Yeah,
Yeah, we should be fully rested.
you had a long rest before this, essentially when you were out on the road.
Okay, it's just because I hadn't like gotten all my prophecy back and I was really confused.
Yeah.
It's like when the fuck did I use 3 of them after the battle?
I need to be right back, just 5 minutes.
All right.
If you want, you can continue without me.
Yeah, well, there will be a little bit of a sort of traveling and such. So you head outside again, and you sort of head for the inn once more, and find the dwarf sitting pretty much where you left him. He's sort of looking at you and looking around at the people in the inn. Sort of seems to be this is a nice place for the dwarf. He seems to sort of look up at you. Well, did you find anything of value?
Well, there was a bit of a problem that we've decided to go investigate.
Oh, an adventure, eh? Well, if you need me help, I'll be right here. I'll respect if you feel like an old timer like me don't exactly might not help you, but
I'd like to nod.
sort of.
You
I
can
respect-
come.
He sort of sitting. He's sitting, and now that he seems more comfortable, you definitely see that his prosthesis on his left leg from above his knee and down. He said, "Well, I might not be the fastest around, so I can understand why you wouldn't have one like me slowing you down. But good luck to you out there. I wish the best for you, and if you come back in one piece, you have a room here."
Well,
Sort of.
thank you very much.
Sort of nods you off and looks back to sort of gets off his chair and gets up to the bar and orders another drink and sits himself down once he's gotten that for. So you begin to head outside the city, heading west through the western gate, and even though it's getting evening, it's still this summer time, so it's not, the sun hasn't gone down yet. It's definitely on its way to going down, sort of like an orange glow at this point. And you see cornfields, and this is a very different area, like compared to what you've traveled through before. This is lush. There's large fields of animals gathered around, and not many people seem to be concerned. There are some farmers around doing some late evening work around the different the different fields. Some seems to be semi-looking over a herd of sheep and such, but nothing. There seems to be there are very few trees around. That seems to be something that people have definitely made as much room for farmland as possible by taking down the trees. And in the distance to the north, you can see the outskirt, essentially the contour of the mill standing slightly on a hill, and there is a path, a dirt path running up to it. So you follow along this dirt path, and the sun is slowly setting as you do, and you get up to this mill, and you can see that there's definitely light inside. Someone is living there, but the mill doesn't seem to be active at the moment. It is rather latent. Probably not anyone who needs the mill right now. But it also seems like as you sort of knock on the door, at first there isn't anyone answering. What would you like to do? You can definitely see that there is a light in the window on an upstairs level.
Can I listen and hear if there's any small noises?
Make a perception check.
Stop. God damn it.
Yeah, I'd like to take a look around to just see if I can see anything.
Horribly this time.
You don't really hear anything, but yeah. So you're looking around, Marrakesh.
Yeah.
Perception check just to see. You notice, even though that it is getting late and things are essentially what is already dark and brown earth seems to get turning darker as the light sort of removes itself from day to turn into night. You notice a small puddle of blood a bit off of the path leading to the northeast.
Blood?
Yep, it's definitely red, and it seems it definitely doesn't seem like water.
Okay. I'd like to follow it for a bit. Just
Okay, there isn't per se a trail, but there is now and then there are small puddles like this one. They seem pretty fresh. You also notice some small footprints that you cannot really discern what seems to be right now. But they don't exactly look like any beast that you'd know.
even if I'm proficient in animal handling?
Even if you're proficient at animal handling, that will just tell you that this is not an animal.
Okay, all right.
Do you tell anyone, or do you just go off on your own?
He just wanders off and was like, what?
To be fair, that is how our group has been doing it so far.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, sure, I'll wander off, but I'll keep like an ear open in case anything happens. Like,
And as you move away, you hear a small, and one of the windows on the upper level of the mill is open, and you hear a voice call out, "No, don't go that way. That's where they were. The beasts. They are still out there."
Marrakesh will turn around and look up at him.
And you see a not an elderly male face in the window, but definitely a human face. From this distance, it's important. It's possible.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Calm down. No need to,
Sorry.
no need to attack her now.
I misclicked, okay? I'm sorry.
I couldn't hear anything from this door. Let's break it down.
No, I misclicked, okay? God damn it, I used up a good roll.
Essentially, so all of you hear this voice essentially calling you out, saying that there are definitely some beasts that have been nearby, and he have potentially seen this miller, or he seems to have taken refuge in the mill and have locked himself in.
I'll go over to where Marrakesh was and draw my sword and just hold guard and holding watch.
Okay, and you also notice the small puddles of blood that seems to lead northeast from here.
Can I use a spell?
What spell do you plan to use?
Detect magic. I would like to use it while we're walking. Like,
Okay, so you
general while walking.
so essentially you begin to follow this line. It's not a line of puddles, it's not a trail. It's more like there's one maybe like 10 feet in front of you, then there's another one 50 feet in front of you, and so on. It's getting a bit tougher to see because it is getting darker. I assume you start lighting your torches and so.
Well, I would like to ask if he knew anything about the monsters, who could describe them before we leave.
Well, you can do that. You can do that.
Well then,
He sort of
how
looks
did
down.
the monsters look? What did they look like?
Well, they were pretty small, but they killed a cow. It was very fast. They were small and grey. Like I've never seen anything like it. And the noises they made were terrifying.
I would like to ask him also if he'd seen the daughter of the
The guards member. Yep.
Yeah, I don't say the daughter, but yes, if he'd seen them.
I did. Yes, I did. It must have been an hour ago or so. She was chasing after them. I couldn't reach to get in touch with her before she was gone. She looked like one of the guards from Cyndarr.
Well then, guess we can't go back now. We'll have to find her.
He sort of backs into and closes the window once again and seems to be content with being locked inside the safety of the mill for now. So you all follow this track, sort of puddles. It's a bit hard to see even from the light of the torches, but eventually you make it out of the sort of the main of the farmland area and onto the where most of the animals are kept. So basically, people have found which soil is the most fertile. That's where we crops. Which soil is not so fertile. That's where we animals and so on. And it leads on to it's a good maybe an hour or so, and it's now pretty dark. And you come across in the distance. You see. Oh, let me just. And did I make that so that it is dark? It should not. I did not. Okay, so I can. Wow. You come across this sort of. It's more like it's a stone mound essentially. It looks natural, even in this dark and limited light, and it seems pretty tall. It's definitely rocky, and there are a few. You also notice that here there are a few shrubberies and bushes around. It's definitely not a typical farming area. If anyone had animals here, it would definitely be far away from where you normally place yourself. And you see this sort of dirt path that you are currently following. You can place yourself around Nira. Should be able to do that. Or if not. And
I placed myself.
Yep, and that should be see. Right. You see sort of it's fairly dark now, and you see between the rocks and the shadows from the torches, you can definitely see sort of a cave entrance here. I would like all of you to make a perception check. I will make one for Nira.
Huh? What? Is there a cave?
Oh, Mira is like Nira is the shit.
Still need perception checks from Asriel and Marrakesh.
Yeah, sorry, I fell out for a sec.
Sorry, I couldn't hear anything. My internet went fuck.
Ah.
Oh my god, what's with these rolls? I give up.
Perception?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. The cave smacks
Oh,
her in the
yeah.
face, and she's told us
one of
no,
us
it's there.
isn't total shit.
To be fair, my modifier is very good.
Yeah, so is
Oh.
Mira's. Marrakesh, you hear sort of a small, distant snarling. It seems more like an idle, like it's essentially like someone breathing heavily. And Nira also speaks in a very low voice. I think we should be careful. There is something in that cave, or maybe close by.
Snarly things.
Can I detect magic now?
You can.
It's a concentration.
Yes. Oh. What do I need to roll success on this one?
No, you
Detect
don't.
magic is not a success spell. It's just a spell that you use.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
essentially
It's a concentration spell.
Yeah, so it's essentially, it means that if you want to cast any other spells, or if someone is trying to damage you, you might lose control over the spell. Stop. But it's not a spell that requires any skill.
Okay.
Other than that.
But it takes up a spell.
Yeah, it takes a spell slot.
Yes.
There isn't anything per se out here that is magic of nature. You sense there's something inside the cave, but you cannot discern where exactly or what it is from this. But it's definitely something that's inside the cave that seems to be magic of nature.
I will say to the others in a very low tone of voice, there's something not good in there. There's definitely something freaky going on.
Nira sort of nods slowly. I think we should move with care from here.
I'm just gonna take my shield in front of me and have my sword ready and if anything pops out, I'll attack it.
Right?
Yeah, I'm gonna take out my crossbow and be sneak.
Okay.
Sneak.
Stealth checks for anyone who wants to go into stealth.
I'm so stealthy.
I hope I don't roll.
Remember, I have disadvantage on this, and I rolled natural 1.
Wow.
You rolled a 1 out of 2.
Oh.
We're the stealthiest group ever. I love it.
But look, if I
Is
had
it- is-
advantage.
Yeah, but you didn't. Wow.
Whoa.
That's
That's
Intimidation.
intimidation.
that's
Yes.
not the right roll.
No, that's the right roll.
Oh, fuck, he's
intimidating
gonna
them to
roll
not
and
see
try
them.
to intimidate whatever's inside.
Essentially, as the bird draws his sword, his sword seems to be stuck a bit in the scabbard, and he's sort of tugging a bit on it. And as he does, his armor is sort of cling, cling, cling. And now you all hear this.
Fuck's sake, you
yeah.
dumb bird.
Uh-oh.
And out of the cave, you see.
A dragon.
Oh, there.
You see 4 small, rather nasty-looking creatures coming out. They haven't noticed you yet, but they are alerted to the sound.
Can I sense the magic better now that they're coming out slightly?
You still have it up, and they are not magical. It's not them.
Can I see if I can recognize what kind of animal it is?
It's not an animal.
Beast? I don't.
There's something else in there than them. They're not what's weird.
Can I see them from here?
It is relatively dark. What is there?
Do you have dark vision?
You would be able to see definitely the first one poking out from beneath the rocks, and they're definitely alerted to the sound, but they haven't seen you yet. Nira she quickly puts out her torch and essentially runs over to hide behind this rock over here.
I would like to stop channeling my detect magic, so I'm ready to do other things.
Okay, do that.
Do you want me to roll? You want us to roll initiative or something?
Not
Or
yet.
is it just standing there?
They have
stand
not yet.
over here, kind of
They have
behind the
not.
bush.
They have not yet spotted you. They've only been alerted by a sound that they've heard, and now they're coming out to investigate.
I would like to pat Matisse on the back, like trying to shove him a little bit forward while pointing ahead.
You go die first.
Just
Okay.
fucking sacrificing him.
I look over to Markesh and say, ready your spell.
Which one?
That fucking death touchy thing you keep doing. The bolt.
Ready your
I
spell.
can do more
Ready
than
your
one spell.
death.
When they get within range, be ready to shoot the first one.
Okay, I will immediately shoot the first one.
Okay.
I will also shoot the best I can.
You have
Do I
because,
hit him?
because you have not yet. They have not yet discovered you. Both shots are with advantage.
I just need to
I
figure
think I'm
out,
okay.
am I within range for my magic missile?
You should be. I believe that's 120 feet. So yeah.
Nice.
All the damage.
And that's to the first one.
Yeah, just the closest one.
See. I should get that out. Yeah, everyone should roll initiative now. We just get the damage done. Is there anything to the magic missile besides the?
It always hits.
All right, so there isn't any extra effects to it.
Three
sake.
glowing darts of magical force. Each dart hits a creature of your choice. It deals 1d4 plus 1 force damage.
Okay.
That's it.
Just see if I can. Oh, not it. I just need to get this one up and initiative.
Why can't I find it?
Remember to click on
Oh,
your character.
What?
Click on your character and then click on the initiative in your character sheet.
Yep.
There.
Very
I'm
top
looking for
above
my
hit
initiative
points.
in my character sheet.
It's
It should
right
be
beside your
Next to
class.
armor, over hit points.
Jesus Christ.
I had that problem too.
Why isn't it beside all the other stuff?
Because it's a different kind of roll than a skill.
I don't care.
And last one. All right, and we should have order from descent. Right, so the first one to go after this damage is done. Let me just see. So, yeah, you both hit these creatures, and this was the one that was hit. So it have taken how much damage? That was 10 points of damage. We just get sorted out. As you attack it, you sort of see it closely. It doesn't. It seems it isn't a goblin. It seems like it's about the same size. Let's just see if I can do this. And it definitely comes with a sort of a they seem to have a gray leathery sort of not fur but hide like with sort of tufts of hair and sharp, really rather nasty looking teeth that seems to be prepared to bite something if needed.
It's giant zombie rats.
No, it's definitely walking on it's bipedal, so it's definitely walking on hind
Rats
legs.
can do that too.
It's a kobold, motherfucker.
It's not kobold, no.
You don't take candle.
You'd know if it was kobold.
You know that candle.
You can recognize a kobold from anywhere.
In this world, yes. Also because kobolds in this world are pretty rare. So the one hit, it definitely does a good amount of damage to it, but it seems definitely tougher than a goblin. You know that essentially the attack that you've just done would probably be enough to make most goblins go dead, and this one seems to be still standing. See there.
I will say, Marrakesh didn't pull his weight.
I tried, okay.
You just
I wasn't ready. You just told me to do it and I did it, okay? Nobody said I
told you
when
when the first one comes out.
You said when it was within range. It was within range. Don't even come at me, bro.
It was barely even a bad touch.
It was a slightly uncomfortable touch.
The kind of touch an uncle does.
Ew.
And that leaves he sort of the first one comes out and he definitely notices Mortis here and he's sort of like snarls towards Mortis, but he definitely it doesn't have any ranged abilities, so it doesn't do any damage. That brings us to Asriel. You are currently, I presume, you are hiding sort of semi in this bush tree. But that stealth, definitely wouldn't have seen you also because Mortis is out in the open and it's currently fixed on him. So what are you doing?
I would like to try and shoot it with my short bow.
And you have advantage because it has not noticed you.
Well, advantage didn't help me much. Well, it did this time.
So click short bow for damage.
I did click short bow.
Oh, just
click the one in chat.
The chat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
So your bolt flies out. Your arrow flies out, and wing. It takes this creature by surprise. As this arrow from seemingly nowhere pierces into his left arm, and you can see that they sort of have like a looming pose to them, even though they aren't particularly tall. And he sort of tries to cover his face with two fairly large cloven hands. From considering his size, these are fairly large claws. And that brings us to Zandriel. On this, you would like to move, Asriel.
Nope, I'm good where I'm standing.
Okay. Zandriel.
Yes. How long can I hit with a sling?
I believe it's 20 feet at normal range and 60 feet at long. If I'm not mistaken, I'll just look it up.
I think that's right.
Hang on, let me see. No, 30 feet at regular and 120 at long range. So it's.
I would like to attack the one closest to me that's within 25 feet.
With a sling.
Yes, with a sling and sling bullets.
Okay, so you load a stone up and hurl it towards this creature, and it hits. Roll damage.
Nice.
The rock sort of hits him in the chest, but it's not. He definitely seems uncomfortable about it, giving off a more damaged snarl at you. So, but he definitely seems to be in the rough. Would you like to move or do anything as a bonus action?
I am okay here.
Okay, that brings us to the bird. Okay.
In your face.
And what are you doing?
I'm going up to it and attack with my longsword.
Okay.
In my head, he just starts picking at it.
Bird wants to die.
And I do not.
Essentially, you sort of slash out like "ha-ha," but you slash out at where the head of a human-sized creature would be, and this creature is lower than a human, so the sword just whoosh, goes over his head and doesn't do anything.
That's impressive for a bird that small as well.
He's 5 feet, and these are smaller than him.
Yeah, but still.
Yep. Okay.
I'm 5 feet 2, mate.
Bye bye, bird.
Okay. So that brings us to this guy in the back, I believe. If I'm not mistaken. Yep. We'll move there. So he sort of comes out and sees his body being definitely challenged by this, but can't really do anything. Marrakesh.
Yeah. I'm gonna cast another chill touch at the one in front of my buddy.
Okay.
You can't see it, I'm in the way.
Well.
Yeah, but that's something like particular about chill touch that when it's still on it, it's just not doing damage.
Yep.
I think.
Roll to see if you hit. Yeah, that's that.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
This cold skeletal hand comes out and sort of embraces this creature, but it is still standing. But
Can I
definitely
ask a question?
Yes.
What is the proficiency that's on Marrakesh's
That would
chill touch?
likely be wisdom.
Magic.
Yeah, it's wisdom. It's wisdom. It's one of the.
Yeah, it's wisdom.
Yeah.
Spell attack bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's the +4 from wisdom, and then there's the +2 from proficiency.
Yeah, plus 6.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What did
Okay.
you read it as?
So any bonus actions or anything would you like to move or?
I mean, I'm hiding pretty well, like behind the barbarian. So, that was my action. I don't think so. I think I'm good.
Okay. Fair enough. And that leads us to Nira, who's still behind this rock, and she actually haven't seen the creatures yet because there's a rock and a tree in her line of sight. She's only heard the sounds of battle. She's going to move to here, and that means that you can see it, and she's going to try and throw a dagger at it. This might.
Dagger.
Let's see. So that is.
Not yet.
Let's see how.
She misses and hits the bird. God damn it.
Oh, that's good.
Shit.
Not again.
Wow.
Jesus.
Nice.
She was intending to hit
it's-
the bird all along.
Well, she doesn't even need to. So this dagger comes seemingly out of the dark from behind the tree, and you see the bird definitely sees this dagger just pierces right below what appears to be a sort of like a floppy ear that this one has, and you can see the tip sort of poking out on the other side of this creature's skull, and it drops right in front of you with a sort of like a dying gurgle, like.
So charming.
I'm gonna poke it with a stick.
Boing, boing.
Okay. And that's Nira's turn, so that brings us to this guy who was initially hurt. He's now going to move up and see that his dead body is here, and he's going to try and make an attack at the bird. Okay, let me see this. So he's like here, and he is going to try and claw your face first. No, he's trying to bite you first.
Fuck me then. That's miss.
That does not
checking.
hit. Well, then he tries to essentially slice with his claws.
And it misses.
It misses, and it's sort of like.
Chink.
Clawing up my shield.
Okay, that brings us to Mortis.
So let's just check first. There's no boxes around, right?
There definitely isn't. This is a natural environment.
Nothing made of wood apart from the trees.
Apart from the trees, no.
Yeah. Okay, I'd like to beat the shit
There
out
might
of the
be
guy
a
in front of
stick
me.
over there.
With
Yep,
both
that
of
hit.
them.
That hits, and that doesn't hit. So the first one hits and deals 4 damage.
Mhm.
Not enough to kill it. Okay. And this one is still alive, so it's going to move out here and take a swipe at Mortiz. Well, it's got to try and bite him first. One, so bite. Does a 14 beat your armor score?
Hits for 1.
Does it beat or does it
Or,
not beat your
no,
armor
it
score?
beats it, yeah.
All right, so that was damage. That is. Can I do it like this? So you take 4 piercing damage, and then it's going to try and swipe its claws at you, which
Oh,
that is a natural. So that's going to be double damage. Oh well, so that's
Please no.
8 piercing slashing damage against you. Starting to look a bit rough.
Are you raging?
No.
no, he's not. He didn't say.
Yep.
Aw. Well, then it does.
And that leaves us to this one who is dead, so that doesn't do anything. Asriel's turn.
I would like to shoot the one on the far left, I guess, with my short bow.
Okay.
And going down to my short bow again. Where did it go? There we go. Oh
That
my
does
God.
not hit.
What's with these rolls? Jesus Christ.
Sort of
Do you
the
need
air-
me to bless you?
I need that.
I think you should think about the 2 people who are currently in front of these, I guess hungry, since they've been trying to take a bite out of them.
Well, bless is like 3 people, I think.
Well then.
Yeah, well, it's. Do you want to move, Asriel, or are you content with where you are?
And I'm still content with where I am.
Okay. So that brings us to Sandriel.
Yes. Can I reach that sort of area and still cast a spell?
As in movement,
Yes.
you have 30 feet of movement. You can get through here, so yeah.
Okay. So I can't get up to
You can get to the side of the
There-ish.
corpse-ish.
You can get to here, yeah. And what are you trying to do?
I would like to use my thunder.
Thunder wave. Okay.
Yes.
And in what direction and where?
In that sort of direction, but it emits from me.
Yes. Is it this way or is it this way?
That's slightly downwards. Yeah, that way, the yellow arrow.
Okay.
That's me.
And roll that.
Okay.
Or what does the spell say that you need to do?
They need to roll a DC 12, all of them. Or they need to roll higher than that. So they need to do a...
Yeah, but they all take damage either way.
In a
Let's see, so
15-foot
that is,
cube from you. So that'll be the
just
other
have
2
to
as well.
see.
That'll be
So,
Yeah,
Birds
that's
and
all
Mortiz
of
as well.
us. That's all of us.
yep. That depends on the direction because I believe it's a cone.
No,
It's
it's
a cube.
Each
Cube.
creature in a 15-foot cube originating from you must make a
Yeah.
Constitution
And
saving throw.
That is
That's
Mortiz and the bird as well. So Constitution saving
Yeah,
throws.
nope.
On a failed save, a creature
shit.
takes 2d8
So I believe you can.
Maybe.
and is pushed 10
What's
feet
this?
away from me.
So that would be 10 feet away for the bird, I'll just have to. So
You see something funny. It does 12 damage. I'm unconscious.
Holy shit!
Wow.
So
Sorry.
are you down?
I'm down.
Oh god.
Well, the
I'm
others
dead.
can take care of you.
Just blew his corpse away.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
You got me
I'm sorry,
exactly on
bird.
zero.
Let's
Awesome.
see.
If the creature doesn't kill us, well, then you're going to kill us.
Just don't worry, I don't have more spell slots.
Makes
Well, I have
it.
2 I can use.
This one is still alive, is it? Or is that another one? I just have to
They
check.
still take half damage, by the way.
Yeah, but he didn't make it. I just have to find the ones that actually hit by it. This one. And then this. So the first one makes it and takes 6 points of damage, is it? That is
Yes.
this one, and that is actually enough to kill it. So we'll just say
Coolio.
marker on that, and this one, none of these makes it, so they both take 12 points of damage. That is not enough to kill them, though.
I feel like the corpses should be blown away too.
They will definitely be moved. So that's
Anything that's not attached blows away.
Yeah.
Anything that's
Considering
not-
the bird has got blown away and he's a corpse right now.
I'm a
He's just an
rectal.
unconscious one.
And he's
I just
moved 10
really
feet.
wanted to use it. By the way, this
That's over
makes
here.
a
like the
very
fact that
loud
once it-
noise.
I like the
Yeah,
fact
it's
that
just-
once again the bird is unconscious.
But this time it's caused by an ally, which is
Yep.
unusual.
This is first time I'm down.
But yeah, this is audible for 300 feet.
Yeah. Which
We're
will
gonna have
take-
fun.
So he's pushed this way, essentially scraping along the wall of the cave here. Okay. Okay.
So what you're saying is that you kill the bird basically, and then you alerted everything.
The bird killed itself.
Killed the
you
bird,
did.
did half damage to everything.
No, the bird was very much your fault. And that
Wow.
leaves us to the bird. Well, you have to make a death saving throw.
Don't die, bird.
Nope, he's one success.
I'm safe.
Nice.
That's the start. Okay, one. So push back and snarls like gets up to here and going to make first a bite attack. And that does not hit, I assume.
I have AC 15.
Yeah, so 12, either 8 or 12 doesn't beat it. And then
No.
it's going to try and swipe its claws at you.
That beats it.
Yes, and it does 5 points slashing.
Okay.
Little point
So
and a half.
now, if I had missed my own spell, if I could, then I'd die. Like the bird.
That brings us to Marrakesh.
Yeah. I'm gonna move up to the bird.
Okay.
And I'm gonna cast Healing Word on that fucker.
You don't have to move up to people to do healing word.
No, healing word you can just do.
Yeah, but
It's
If-
cure wounds that you have to touch.
essentially,
Oh,
if essentially you can, if you want to teabag him while doing the healing word, you can do that.
Just go fuck you.
Healing bag.
You die,
I
you
will
die, you die.
stab you, man. I will stab you.
You're unconscious, no you won't.
Well, you wouldn't know.
Just wake up
You get
confused with
7.
with
you get
balls
7.
in your mouth.
Okay, I'm awake.
And that was a bonus action.
Mhm.
And then on my action, I will bless you. Goddamn idiots. 3 of you.
Who?
Which 3?
Yeah.
The Dragonborn, the Barbarian, and the Paladin.
Okay.
Because
So
you're
not-
bad.
Hey, I've only missed once, okay? And I haven't tried to kill my allies.
Hey,
I
let
always-
go of it.
Okay.
Nope.
So
We all
There's
want
a reason why I'm not
roast chicken for dinner.
blessing the person killing our allies.
and how long does it let? 1 minute. Okay. That brings us to Nira, who have. She can. May actually just see. She might just pull out one of her spells. Let's see. What has she got? Ooh, that would be a fun one. Can she hit is the question. Let me just see if she has a side.
And I'm out of spell slots.
She does. She does. She cannot hit this one because there's essentially a rock face
the rock,
between. Yeah. But she can hit the one down here, and she is going to Eldritch Blast it.
Holy shit.
I could find the goddamn spell. And that does not hit.
God damn it.
But you see this purple crackling spear of energy just fly across the cave entrance and off into the darkness, like. And you can sort of hear her. If any of you understood Infernal, you would hear her telling a curse, but it's definitely not very loud. It's in fitting with character. But
I don't think anybody does.
Nope. Definitely not. This one is dead, so he doesn't get to go. Mortis, you will.
Could I move?
Yeah.
So like there. I have enough movement to move around him.
First to here, and then you have to. If you have essentially when you're trying to go around someone, they get an attack of opportunity.
Oh, fuck that then.
No, not wanting to go around. It's only if they get 5 feet away from them.
Yeah, but he essentially has to go here.
I have to because of the rock.
Then here, and then here afterwards, if that's what you do.
So he's still within 5 feet all the time, so it doesn't get an attack of opportunity.
Well, essentially, I think if you're trying to go around someone during your turn, that's essentially like it's as close to moving away from someone. That will also count if someone is trying to flank you. You can consider that a homebrew rule or not.
Sure.
Essentially, when you're trying to move around someone, they have plenty of time to try and take a swipe at you. So it will do that. Let me just see which one it is. It is 3.
I don't want to move around them, by the way.
Okay. Well,
Giving up on that.
No attack of opportunity then. But it is.
Yeah.
But do you want to attack?
Yeah.
Yeah, the first one hits, and the first one is enough. Which is lucky because the other one was. Essentially, you swing both axes at its head. The first one connects and sort of like splitting its head. The other one sort of like just goes over where its head would be, but because it's already going down at this point. Dead. Let's see. And then it's no longer this one's turn. So we'll go to the next one. It's also dead, which means it is Asriel's turn.
I like the fact that every time it's my turn, it's like, we'll go to this one, which is dead. So now it's your turn. Well, I was considering moving a bit closer, but given I've just seen Sandriel kill the bird.
Yeah.
Hey,
Not
I'm alive.
kill,
Pretty
just
close
knock
to
her
that.
very, very unconscious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I hit the creature behind Sandriel with my short bow from here?
Well, you have a line of sight, but it's definitely within half cover. You know.
I feel like with your rolls,
Don't shoot
no.
me in my head.
Oh, I
Please
would
shoot her
love
and
to
get
do
her
that,
head.
but
Yeah, please do that.
Come on, I took down 2 of the.
Friendly
Like-
fire is
Of the
And
friends.
almost 2 of our friends.
Okay, Mortis was nowhere near failing.
technically you took down one of the enemy and an ally. So
And I got the other 2 down to under half health.
Yeah, combat.
Versus the bird, that is worth something.
I like the bird better, so no.
I'd trade the bird for that,
Thank
to be
you.
fair.
On cover.
Like the bird because we pity him. We don't pity you. You're
yes.
dangerous.
You
I'm
can
sorry,
attack
my
it.
character just doesn't like Sandriel very much.
The
You don't
character,
like any of
My
us.
character don't like that
him?
real very much anymore.
the character is within half cover, so it has a +2 bonus to AC. But you can make it a shot.
Well, I
Just
would
not
like
with
to
your
try.
rolls.
I'm gonna try anyway.
Sure.
Remember, you can add a d4 if it goes wrong.
Whoa.
Oh, never mind.
And let's see how much health does that. Okay, get open the ruler tool. This is not enough to kill it, but it definitely is looking pretty rough. And would you like to move?
Nope, still good.
Okay. So that
Poison spray!
okay. Hey,
You just like
Um,
spraying your opinion everywhere, huh?
Once again, I'm happy I didn't move any closer.
Okay, and
Yeah.
It needs to
same.
make a constitution save, else it takes half the damage.
that really doesn't matter because it has 1 HP, so it's just going to die basically.
I'm just like a fucking killing machine over here, just surrounded by corpses.
Yeah, that's kind of grim, but it's not
Friendly and otherwise.
And yet again, I've wasted a spell.
Whatever gets in the way is.
Can I use my bonus action to search one of these creatures?
Yes.
Perhaps the one I just sprayed acid in the face of.
So this one up here.
You sprayed poison, you didn't spray acid.
Bah.
It's
Right,
not the
let me
same.
just,
You never know with these old-fashioned things.
okay.
Was that a description of yourself?
Oh, the comedy. So you essentially you start looking over at these bodies, and they don't have any clothing, they don't have any items, they don't have any gear on them. They are creatures
Naked.
that essentially, yeah, but they're not humans or humanoid in any kind.
Yeah, okay.
Actually, since you are investigating them, roll an Arcana check with advantage because of your background. You can do the same, Bird.
Do I do well enough?
Just see. Ooh, pretty good. It's not something that you've seen every day, but it's definitely, as an acolyte and as a paladin, these are definitely things that you have, if not been taught directly about, it's something that you've seen at lectures or something like that. This is a minor fiend known as a Dretch.
So it's a hell creature, kinda.
It is definitely a creature from the Nine Hells, but it's
Nice.
one of the absolute lowest tiers of demons. These are considered as sort of mobs where they usually just
Would
crawl about.
Would I associate this with the claw-like symbol from that evil religion?
No. Gods and the Nine Hells are two different things here.
Okay.
Evil gods does not have a connection to the Nine Hells. Nine
If
Hells
it was
are,
an archfiend, like a warlock would
then there would be some
worship, then
potentially some connection there. But this is just essentially the lowest tiers of creature from the Nine Hells, even from the upper levels of the Nine Hells. They don't exist in the lower level.
Okay.
But now I
essentially-
understand why I would know what it is. Yay! I got it now.
Essentially, the Nine Hells is a plane of existence where your gods are sort of like a ethereal thing that are around but affecting the world. That's essentially the difference. Okay?
Point out, my character will at all times stay 20 feet away from Sandril.
I think that's a good idea in general.
Does anyone else have tinnitus?
Yeah.
With the 300 feet loud.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we
What?
elves have really keen like hearing, so I probably do.
I'm just unaffected because it breaks the sound wall after it's away from me.
Yeah, and it's definitely loosened up a lot of, because you were basically almost blasting it directly into the side of this rocky mound. There's definitely a lot of smaller stones that have been loosened up and are now laying in a small layer around the edge of this hill, rocky hill. It's not that tall. Okay. And Nira sort of appears from behind the trees and looks down at these creatures, sort of looks away in disgust. They aren't, you also notice now that they are definitely not clean. There's remains of dried blood and mud stuck to essentially the hides and their teeth and the claws.
To be fair, we did just kill them.
Mm-hmm.
There would be blood on them.
Should we go in?
But we still haven't
Yeah,
seen
you go
or
first.
heard or anything from.
See, actually. I don't think it was relevant to here, but I might have to. You can go in if you want. It's
Yeah, let's go in. It'll be fun. Come on, guys.
I will go behind.
No,
Nope,
you're
in
going
front.
first. You're dangerous.
I'm not gonna go in front.
We're pushing you into the front.
Can I investigate my corpse first?
the one you're standing by.
Yeah.
Again.
I thought you meant your own corpse. I was like, what happened there? You're just a ghost now following us.
Look at that! I'm dead.
Well then.
Oh well.
It appears to be a corpse.
Oh! Actually, your poison spray would not have had any effect.
Oh, well.
So we'll just say that you've killed this one because it's too much of an issue.
We had other people after her anyway.
And
So.
revive it.
A
But,
rock fell down from the side of the cave and killed it.
Yeah, from the thunder thing. Just like
but they are actually immune to poison.
Oh, yeah.
good to know.
Yeah.
I need some fire spells.
No. No.
Yes.
You need
If you
thunder
get
spells.
fireball, I quit.
Essentially, Mortis is looking at the body, and again, these creatures don't have anything on them. They don't have anywhere to put items, and they are not carrying anything around.
You can check their insides.
He's
you can
gonna
swallow
skin
their
it
coin or
and eat it,
something.
isn't he?
Essentially, you also hear snarling coming from inside of the cave, but no creature seems to be appearing and coming out to face you. At least not now.
Whatever's in there, you've woken it up. Awesome.
Can I try and
Alright,
sink my
let's go.
face
Was
into my?
making noises before.
Can I try and sink my face into my corpse and try and eat it?
I knew it.
You
Can we just leave the dog here? Like, just tie it to a tree or something?
Hey boy,
Sandra could-
there's a
Sandra
cat
could
inside
call
the
it over.
cavern.
Sandriel could call it over like she's done before and just make him go first. Like, come on, doggy, you go.
Make me go first now. I just got smacked in the face.
Okay.
So did I.
So are you heading inside the cave?
Sure.
I'm not going in first.
Ladies first.
Well, you can
I will
always.
cast friends on Sandriel and try to make it go in. That's a cantrip, motherfucker.
Yes, but you will also remember that she is an elf, and elves are immune to charm.
I have advantage on being
I have
on being
advantage there, not
charmed.
immune.
Well, okay.
I'm taking the chance because I've got shit rolls as is.
What saving
With
throw do
charisma.
I need to do?
That would probably be.
I think we need to roll against each other. I
Charisma
roll
checks.
persuasion, you roll insight, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
You're so persuasive.
I'm very charismatic.
I don't think that works. So yeah.
I'm just gonna flip him off.
Double good, motherfucker.
Essentially,
Roll for insult.
essentially, Nira actually stands between her and is like, "This is not productive. We should not be fighting each other."
I'm not fighting. I'm
I
just
say
trying
we
to
send
persuade
in the
him to
big
run.
lizard. She's like covered in scales all over.
Or the dog. Mortis,
Yeah,
you're no
but
longer.
dog
Mortis,
looks-
by the way, you're no longer Mortis. You're a dog now.
Wow.
Till you stop acting like a dog, you'll be treated like a dog.
Well, fine. I'll move in first. The longer we stand out here, the more we're just sitting ducks for whatever's showing up after all that noise somebody made.
Isn't that racist considering we have a bird with us? Calling it sitting ducks.
Silly
He's not a
pigeons.
duck.
Okay, so
He's a fried chicken.
so
I know how far I'm supposed to move in.
He's a penguin.
When I get fireball.
So you move into the cave, and
It's penis.
this is it's a very narrow.
It's like a fucked up uterus with like with a
A
testicle
uterus
on.
with a baby in one of the chambers.
You'll all be entering.
Did you watch porn while making this?
No, you'll all be entering from here.
Okay.
Where am I?
I'm there. I'm in the
I'm
back.
right behind the lizard lady. Asriel.
Okay.
I'm like almost completely in the back, if not completely in the back.
You can stay on the white if you are going last.
Well, I'm in front. I just need my character. Where's my character?
You can pull it over from the character list.
In the handout. Journal.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I've been doing that the entire time.
Well, you also know Atlas.
I'm going very
Oh my god.
last.
This is fucking
I'm second last.
Okay. Well, Nira actually follows straight behind.
Yeah, I'm not going close to that shit.
Okay.
But I guess we'll
Like
have
the
to
fact
line
that people that
some
can take a
torches in
beating is
here.
going last.
I would
Oh,
like
what?
to use a spell.
Okay. What's
Shut
that?
up, Sandriel.
I would like to touch the armor of the lizard lady and make it light up as a
Isn't your
Kind
rogue
of
doing that
torch.
really dumb idea?
Essentially,
Convenient target, hit me now!
you can try and dodge it.
Well, you're standing behind me. I wouldn't know
Make-
what the fuck you're doing.
Asriel, make a dexterity check with disadvantage because it is behind you. You sort of have a natural feeling of someone is close to you trying to touch you, but you now have a glowing armor.
Hey, awesome.
You glow brightly in 20-foot radius
You will
and
have-
dim light for another 20 feet.
Yeah.
Question, what color?
Just normal white light.
Oh,
Damn.
And you now have disadvantages on stealth checks.
Yes!
Like
thank
you were
very
doing
much.
good
The rogue
before.
cannot be sneaky at all. Oh,
That's why I fucking asked why
so-
you're doing it to the rogue.
yup.
So
I hate my
Because
life
she
now.
keeps using a bow anyes.
she also has
Some
really-
rogues don't go in
Yeah, but
close.
she's-
And now
in
she's
the
our
front now.
tank.
So you
The squishiest! Do you know, I am probably one of the squishiest characters.
Have you seen the bird?
The bird's supposed to be
corpse.
really
I'm
not
pretty sure
squishy as
there's
well.
like 1 point difference between me and the bird.
Well,
So-
also the difference is the amount of times the bird has gotten in shit.
The bird's just unlucky.
But
He's
to
done
point
that to
out, you were the
himself.
first one to go down.
So
I
Yeah.
wouldn't know. I
You
wasn't there when you went down.
So you enter this cave, and it's getting pretty narrow. Marrakesh would probably have to dock to move into it. It's definitely not a big cave. Feels cramped, and you can barely pass by one another as you go, and you can hear the snarling coming from the deep of the cave. You can also hear sort of a moaning, like someone is hurt.
I
My-
would like to just say one thing. When the lizard lady gets about there, I would like to dispel my light thing.
Okay.
So it's
Are you
completely
going to
useless.
inform me of that idea?
No,
Or...
not at all.
Okay. Nice.
Okay. So
I'm
We're
in
such
it
a
for the
functional
money.
group.
The less of you there are, the more money there is for me.
Oh, I am
The quicker
so
you're gonna die.
tempted to
No,
do
I'm
something.
kidding. I'm not actually doing that.
We're
I'm
gonna end up
gonna.
with a fucking mutiny.
I do everything in good faith.
what are you
Like
going
killing
to
our
do,
own
Astrid?
friends.
Well, I can't go back. So I guess I'll just be the lit up target and walk forward.
Huh?
Slowly.
Target
I
practice.
can't do it stealthily, but slowly.
You can try to do it stealthily.
Yeah.
Well, I can try to make no noise.
You just
at
get a
least.
disadvantage.
Double natural 20. Come on.
It would be awesome, but
Yeah, it's definitely
About the same as always.
She is definitely lighting up the cave and acting like a nice guidance in front of you, even though it's a pretty straightforward cave. It isn't a huge cave system, but okay, you can essentially. Okay, and Nero follows.
I guess from here, how far does it light up? Can I see that the road kind of splits? Or?
It essentially lights up to here.
Okay, so I can't make out that there's a split.
Yeah, you can definitely see it, especially with the.
It should be bright light all the way over there.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But,
so now everyone in the big and in the small area have been alerted that something is coming.
Mm-hmm.
Super.
Yes. Sunlight. It's
Well,
Groundhog Day.
I go over here then and try and peek around. Awesome.
No.
Things about appearing. We're so dead.
The light should dispel right about there.
Didn't you say here? I know that I don't know that, but...
Right about there. If you take one step further, it just goes boop,
Poof.
dark.
Yeah,
Okay.
For the sake of my character's ears, I'm going to stay outside.
Okay, so you're staying outside. Fair enough.
To be fair, you
Can I
only have like 7 health right now.
Yeah.
Any of these small...
So when you get to here, you see this. It seems at first it just seems like it's dark part of the cavern, but getting closer to it and investigating it, it's a massive pit. Essentially, you cannot see the bottom even with your light to you.
Let's kick Sandriel down into it.
It's definitely you. You can also hear essentially from this part. You can definitely hear the snarling of these familiar snarling of these creatures. And let's see how this guy. So everyone roll initiative. The bird doesn't have to unless you want to help.
No, I'm staying outside.
I rolled well for once in initiative.
Mm-hmm.
That is something I rarely do.
We all rolled before the initiative thing was up.
Hold on.
It doesn't matter.
Shouldn't matter. Hang on, I just need to clear it out first, actually. Yeah, this is the old one. That should.
No,
Yeah.
this one is the right
No,
one.
this is
Hang on. All right, now you can roll.
But that
I
was
like-
the new one.
That was the right one.
Yeah.
I'll choose.
And I like my 21 roll.
I like my 16, thank you very much.
I like my 13.
Yeah, but Dan, you rolled 14 first, so.
That wasn't with my character though.
Hang on.
Shall we just roll again?
Yeah, that's easier. Initiative isn't really that. It's more of a.
Oh God!
Can I please have my other fucking number? I rolled 60
It doesn't
before.
matter, you're behind. You can't move anywhere right now.
I still want to be quicker than the rest of you guys.
Why?
Why are we all
Astral.
rolling so shit?
Nira has a good roll, but this is initiative, so it's not really that important.
Astral, you have to remember to click on your character when you roll.
Yeah. Ball ache. That's what it
Same
is.
to Marrakesh.
Click the character, then click on the initiative.
I did that before. There you go.
Well, now you can stop complaining about bad rolls.
But isn't it just from the character sheet that you do it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but you
but
have to
you
have,
You need
the
to have
character
your
on the map
character
first.
token selected.
you have to have the token selected for it to work.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's a bit backwards, but
It's a bit of a ball ache, but relatively.
What?
So I just go
Ball
out
ache?
to the characters,
Yeah.
click my character, and then click initiative on this Same.
You selected on the map your character token.
Mhm.
Then you open, when you have that selected, your character sheet and you press initiative.
Well, now it's horrible. Thank you very much.
Doink.
So we're all just going to be standing behind me before I can move.
Essentially, there is room for you to go out over here and say, like, letting people pass.
Okay,
But
so I
it's not
can't
her
move
turn.
over here.
Well, you can move over to this point, letting people pass if you want to. But
Then you can be sneakier as well.
On your
It's
turn,
also pitch black.
on your turn, you can do that.
To be fair, some of us have dark vision, so
So I'm still back here. That was what I said.
So the first one is Nira, and let me see if you can do anything. I doubt it. It's more of an. Let me see. What does this one do? I just have to.
But Sandriel, did you put out the light then? Since my character hasn't moved.
It will put out the light the moment you move
Okay.
over there.
So right now it's still completely lit up.
Yeah, because technically there hasn't been any action since then.
has it been a minute since we were like outside in combat?
Yeah, it has.
Okay, I just need to
Is
know
it-
whether
is
you
it-
guys
is
were still
it-
blessed or not.
Essentially, you used a lot of time to bicker between each other.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Ooh, that's a good. Nira can actually do something. She is going to use this one.
Oh, that's so good. It's so much fun to play with.
And she's going to essentially make the ground shake.
Oh, sorry.
That's no worry. No worry.
Misclicked.
So essentially, it feels like a small earthquake, as if someone is dropping something heavy and the ground is sort of shaking around her. That's what she can do because she can't move because there's an elf and a dragonborn in her way. Okay, that leads us to this one, and it's going to move towards the sound and the vision. Go here because can't go any further. Going to snarl and
Don't go towards the light. It will kill you.
and that's what it can do. That links us to Marrakesh, right at the back.
Can I see that creature?
Nope.
No.
We're in a tiny hole.
Yeah, I needed to know. I've got my prophecies. I'll probably use that.
Please
Yeah,
touch me.
My prophecy is a range of 30 feet, so I'll use my prophecy on the person in the front. That one.
Thank you.
Azrael?
Thank you very much.
Because that's the only thing I can do.
So just for clarity, what does that do?
It gives him an advantage on all attack rolls made.
Okay.
And
hostile
creatures has
have
disadvantage.
disadvantage. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but it's only if he uses on them.
Okay.
Yeah. So essentially, since it's selected on you, you have advantage on attack roll.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
I don't think there is a. Is there a time limit to it, or is that?
That's until I cast another spell, unless I
okay.
use incantation
Yes.
on that spell.
Yeah.
If it has a duration.
Okay. So you do that, and that do this one. Going to move as well. It's getting crowded in here. And that's all
be
it
fair, I
can
don't think it
do.
was.
And moves to here. And then it's Sandriel's turn. I will say this: you can try to squeeze past someone else. You have to make an acrobatics check with disadvantage because of how this cave is essentially very small. Not easy to get around, but it can be done. And that goes both ways, of course. If you want to essentially get
Try
away
and
from.
squeeze behind.
Yeah.
Can I try and squeeze over
Yeah.
And maybe do it
dexterity.
like go sneak after that.
Athletics. Acrobatics. Sorry. Acrobatics.
Okay,
With disadvantage.
that's
Yep.
pretty good.
That'll do. You get past sort of squeezing between the rock face and the dragonborn, the glowing dragonborn.
Can I then try and go in stealth?
You're in bright light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Because
And
you
in
still,
a tight cave.
You still
You
have
can
that.
thank yourself for that one.
Well, I could dispel it then.
Okay. Yeah.
Why don't you do that?
I dispel it.
Okay.
Poor shit. Poor shit.
Oh, don't tempt me.
Okay. And what else are you going to do?
Can I
Okay.
stealth now?
You can try, but it's definitely going to be with disadvantage because you are pretty close to a creature, and you're
I
pretty
will.
much in
I
its
will
line of sight.
try.
Nope.
About as good as always.
Okay. And that brings us to this one. Going to here. And so we can do this one. Going to round there. And Asriel, it's finally your turn.
Awesome. Well, since
And
lights
you've
out,
got advantage on attacks.
Yep.
but since the lights are out, can I see the creatures?
Yeah, you probably have. It's definitely not going to be an easy shot if you're trying to make one.
No, I'm just can I see them? Just and how many of them can I see? If I
You can
see?
you can definitely see the first one, sort of like a knee or a shoulder or maybe a hand, but you cannot see the full creature. But definitely,
So I have no idea how many there are.
no. You can see the first one.
Well then,
You don't have dark vision, do you?
nope.
Nope,
Oh, okay.
Dragonborns do not.
You got all the other cool shit instead.
Don't you still have your torches with you?
It takes an
Yeah, but it
I
takes
thought
some
they
two
had
action to
lit
do
the
one, I think.
torches.
it takes up an action. So
It takes an action to light a torch, yeah.
Yeah, but I thought they already had lit torches from when we were outside.
No,
no,
you did the light spell.
because you did the light
Okay,
spell, so
yeah.
none of us lit up any torches.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's entirely your fault.
So right now it's very, very dark.
Well,
Well,
it's good for me.
And me.
Well,
I
I'm
can
gonna
see just
let
fine.
us walk outside.
can I ask Sandriel if she can see how many there are?
Yep.
How many can I see?
You would
At least 4.
Yeah, definitely these. You will definitely be able to see, and if not, you could maybe not discern how many there are, but you could definitely see the movement of more than the two for the two at front.
More than 2.
Awesome. Well, can I? This is a question. Can I go up here, do an action, and then move over here again?
Yeah, you can break up your movement. Yeah.
Okay, then I'm gonna go up here, and why did it not click it? I want to do it. Come on. God damn it. Use this one. There we go.
Interesting. In a 30-foot line, so that's
Yes.
all
That's
the
real
way
nice.
here. Yeah, that will get them all.
And
all
I'll
these 4.
need to do a deck save.
So the 4 deck saving throws, eh?
Yep.
Right. Let me just see who needs to make that.
Meanwhile, you can figure out what the DC is. That's real. It's A plus your Constitution modifier plus your proficiency bonus.
And Constitution is -1.
Yeah, but proficiency bonus is +2.
So it's
So that's
plus
9.
that's 9. Okay, so not the hardest one to beat.
Nope.
See, dexterity.
Well, you still take half damage even if you roll 9 or more.
That makes
Well,
it.
it has to be more.
And
She has
this one-
advantage.
Don't you have to roll more than 9?
Nope.
Mm.
Not on a
I have
save.
to roll 9 or above.
Yeah.
Okay.
On a save, or if you're trying to, if you hit something, you hit something if you have the armor score or higher. And same,
Yeah.
same goes for a save. So this one is 6, which is D2. And nope, that was not it. Go away.
Go away.
Dex.
What's up with those crazy rolls? Stop it.
Let's see, what is this one? This one is Yambre.
What's up with your shitty constitution?
I told you I'm squishy as fuck.
Number 9, so.
Hey, you hit one of them.
With that
Well,
constitution, you're
hit
probably
all-
also
I hit-
asthmatic.
I hit all of them,
Yeah, so
but
what's
you
the
hit one of
three
them probably.
Only
Probably.
takes.
okay, roll me a 2d6 from the roller out. Select the dice out to the left and go for a 2d6. So it is. This one takes full damage.
2d6 plus nothing, I guess. Right.
Yeah, that's just the straight up damage. 8 points of damage.
So that's 4 to all the ones that succeeded.
Yep. 10 here, and I will have to.
You only need to do it once.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. It's essentially, it goes for all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are some things that I'd wish they'd come with automatically when you put monsters in, but that's not the case. It's unfortunate, but that's just how it is. Okay, and this one also 4 points each. P and
Somebody's coming
Or-
down here.
C. And this one was also 4.
And then I would like to move back.
Yep, you do that. Advanced C and okay. Okay, that fit that. I assume that ends your turn.
Yes.
Right, so that brings us to Mortis.
I'd like to do nothing since I can't do anything.
Okay,
You could squeeze.
You can squeeze past.
you can try to squeeze.
I would like to not squeeze since I'm
Okay,
almost dead.
not squishy. Are you that hurt?
Yes.
Okay, well, if you say so.
One light breath
You
would
can
kill me.
squish back. You can squish
Um,
past me.
That brings us to this one,
GTFO.
who is going to move here.
You've got enough strength to move me, it's fine.
Okay, and that
Yeah, but I'm
brings us,
real big.
Nira is going to try and get past the Dragonborn, so that's a Dex. No, it's acrobatics. Which she is.
And if I try and let her get past me,
that would just
Then I
be
must
with
be-
advantage. Let's see, acrobatics. Where do we have that? Oh, she isn't that skilled in that. She just manages to get through. It's a bit awkward. She's definitely. It seems like she's trying to avoid getting dirt and rock on her. So she's essentially squeezing a bit more up against you than what's actually necessary. And she's sort of sorry as she goes past. And then she is going.
How tall is she out of interest?
Asriel or Nira.
Nira.
She is about 6 feet.
So it basically gets boobs in her face.
Well,
Somewhere around there.
Nira also isn't that old. She is basically a teenager.
Ew.
Oh well, I'm glad I didn't say this sentence I wanted to say then.
Spells.
Because I'm definitely not a teenager.
It would be a fun one. If I can. Okay, I don't have that here. Can I have that somewhere else? I have to.
Motherfuckers, I see.
Ooh. Yes, this will do. She is going to cast. It will be fun.
We should have brought the dwarf.
She's going to. That's the first one.
I told you to bring the dwarf, but nobody listened.
That will hit. Ooh.
That's
the
real
first
good.
one. So you can essentially you all hear her speaking something on essentially she's whispering something out in a magical way, and Cyndarr, you will see the first of these creatures begin to writhe and really dealing with some really hard pain, and it has to say wisdom.
Does it affect any of us?
No.
No.
This is a one target only spell. Pretty powerful,
okay.
though. Pretty powerful though.
What did she whisper though?
Do you understand?
I'd shack your mom.
Do you understand Infernal?
No.
No, well then you don't know.
Wait, what?
Oh.
It caught out for me. What did it say?
Do
Oh,
you
he actually
understand
makes
Infernal?
it, so he only takes 6 points of damage.
Do I understand what, you guys?
Infernal.
You don't.
Oh,
So
no.
you don't know. So don't worry about it.
Infernal.
And she only takes half damage then, so that's okay. And this one is going to essentially, because it's this turn, and it have just been attacked by Nira, so it's going to try and attack her. First with the bite. That hits. And she takes the 3 damage, and then with its claws.
Oh shit.
Oh shit.
Which also hit.
Bye bye, Nira.
So that's a full 16 damage to Nira. That definitely wasn't. Let's see. Cool.
I hope she has a lot of fucking health because I would be
She
down.
is still alive, but she's definitely not looking too happy about that. Sort of.
Can I yell out to Asriel, even though it's not my turn? Just a little thing.
No.
I gotta wait my turn. Oh, it's gonna be so dramatic.
Okay, that leads us to this one, Marrakesh.
Hello. I'd like to squish past this fucking dog.
Try and squish past, yeah.
Yeah. What do I need to roll?
Can I let him?
Acrobatics.
Does he get disadvantage because both of them are very large?
Yeah, it's
But
definitely.
he'll let me.
So it's a straight up roll. Nope. It's too awkward, and it's not. It's definitely like. Can I go? When Marrakesh tries to move to the left, around what she's also moves to the left, and when they try to the right, and they essentially have a weird sort of dance off in this cave.
Oh, they're mating.
Can I
Not
see
now,
the creature
guys.
at least from here?
Let me see. No, there's not a clear line of sight.
Well, then I've got nothing.
Yep. That brings us to this one, who closer, but you guys don't have ranged attacks, and this guy goes up, and that brings us to Sandriel. You just saw Nira take a hefty bit of damage from one of the claws of these small creatures.
Yes. And can I use my bonus action first?
You wanted to say something?
Yeah. What did you want to say?
I would like to use my bonus action first.
What would you like to use it?
I would like to make one of my sorcery points into a spell slot.
Yeah.
And then I would like to yell to Asriel to get Nira and get the fuck out of here.
Okay.
And then I'd like to go in stealth.
Okay. So the stealth is definitely with disadvantage because the creatures know that you are there. You can try and be more subtle about it.
Do a performance and pretend to be a tree.
Not
No.
inside of a cave. You can definitely try and. Let's see. it's not a bad roll, but you're not likely the biggest threat right now. Okay, this one can't do anything because his path is blocked. One, stop. And Asriel, it's your turn.
Yes. Can I sort of drag Nira behind me? Kind of switch places?
Yeah, that would be are you calling out to her first to say that you're doing this? Okay, then it's an athletics check with advantage.
God fucking
advantage. So you
actually not acrobatics.
No, this is more like this is pure strength. You are shoving someone. Acrobatics is more like jumping and dodging. Yeah, you manage and you basically switch places with Nira, who is like looking at you, looking very thankful that you did that.
Move.
Attack of opportunity?
Yep, there's an attack of opportunity.
I
know. This would technically be against Nira, as it is technically her that's moving away. Yes. But that's only one, so it's only going to try and swipe it.
Don't die.
She might. She doesn't have a big armor.
Jesus Christ. Don't die. Oh, fuck.
Ooh.
Ah!
That will hit.
God fucking damn it.
So essentially, So essentially, as you pull Nira away, a claw slices out and across her leather armored chest. She's like gurgles and falls unconscious behind you. Okay.
Can I shout behind somebody, get her out?
Yeah.
Like shout down.
It's okay, Marrakesh will just go touch her. Like he did the bird.
If he can still do that, but it's just to let them know if they haven't seen that. Hey, we're a man down. Yeah. But I don't know. Did the athletics thing changing place? Did they take up an action?
Yeah, I would say that's essentially an action because it's not something that you could just do naturally.
Awesome. So now I'm just a squishy shield.
Yeah.
Great.
Pretty much.
The good thing is that you cannot get swarmed in here because of how the tongue is essentially formed.
Doesn't really help when you're squishy as fuck.
No. But definitely does. Rather than fighting multiple enemies, you're only fighting one at a time. That's at least something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's Mortisa's turn, and I'm assuming you're moving up.
Mm-hmm.
And what are you going to do?
Do I have range on that dude?
I mean, I believe you have a couple of weapons that have the thrown ability that you can
I do. Like,
yeah.
Could I hit? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a clear line of sight, actually. So that shouldn't be with...
where is it?
A javelin, okay. That hits and deals 7 damage. Which isn't enough to kill him, but it definitely brought him down to where he's not looking too happy about it. Okay. Anything else? You still have a bonus action and movement left if you need it.
Could I stand over thingy?
Over Nira? Yeah, you can. She's lying on. She's essentially lying on the ground. Just move her out, just to show that. Okay.
Sure.
And
that's good.
I believe that's all you can do. So that's back to this one. He's going to move here, and then it's Nira's turn. She will make a death throw if find it.
Don't die.
And that's one fail.
God.
This is amazing.
Okay, and that's her turn done. And this one will now attack the Dragonborn in front of it, which means that it will first attempt to bite.
Awesome, I'm gonna die. Yep.
I assume that hits.
Yep.
For 1 piercing damage.
Okay.
And then it's trying to swipe with its claws.
Doesn't hit.
Okay. Essentially, it bites in the arm, the gauntlet of your arm, and essentially you can feel a single tooth piercing
Can I
through
smack it back? It's like, ouch!
Back.
on your turn, perhaps.
I'd rather do something else on my turn.
That leads us to Marrakesh.
Yay. I'm gonna move forward as much as I can, which is like up there.
Yeah.
Need you to use your magic touch on her.
Can I see this fucker now?
Let me just see. Yeah, but it will definitely be half cover, so it has +2 to AC.
That's okay.
It is looking very hurt.
Yeah, I'm gonna cast Chill Touch as an incantation, which means it keeps going.
+2 to AC, that is not enough to hit.
Okay, well, then that's my turn.
Okay. Leads us to this one. Can't do anything. This one can't do anything. Sandriel.
Do you have anything you can hit the one in front of me with to kill it?
I will use my sling.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, that's a pretty direct shot. That's not gonna hit.
I tried.
Yep, you did.
Sorry.
And you failed.
Can't use poison on him.
Nope. Well, you can, it just really doesn't do anything.
It just fizzles off.
Yeah. This one can't do anything. This one can't do anything. Asriel, it's your turn again.
Yay! I would like to try and hit him.
With what?
I have a rapier and I have a longsword.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember which one of those deal most damage.
I think that's the rapier. It has +5. Well, that will be that one.
All right. That hits, and you don't even need to roll damage. It's dead anyway.
Die.
Okay, so the first one essentially it falls down as this rapier slashes its chest open. It's like Okay, so that's one down. Okay, would you like to move, or are you content with where you are?
Well, I guess I could move closer, make more space for the people behind me, but I will still just be a squishy shield.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess I'll move up here.
Okay. Just move this out of the way for
Yep.
later. Maltese, it's your turn.
Can I move here and unthingy myself?
Yeah.
Unthingy.
Can I use another javelin on
Just
the
don't
one in
hit
front?
me in the back.
With +2 AC because of half cover.
Can I duck?
Essentially, you're trying to get out of the way, but it's still an awkward shot. It's not a direct shot. +2 to AC.
1 second. Ah, damn.
That's not gonna hit. Essentially, this javelin just sort of ding against the cave and deal damage.
I'm so
We
going
all
to
wish
die.
I still had that bliss spell now, don't we?
Yep. This one can't move. Nira's gonna take a death saving throw.
She's down. Jesus fucking Christ, what happened last round?
Oh my god, I
She got
shouted
poked.
back at you guys, somebody get her out, and you've been standing like right behind her.
And that's a
I wasn't here. I
She has
didn't know.
one success and one fail right now.
Yeah, she got stabbed as she got moved.
This one is dead. It's not gonna do anything. Marrakesh, it's your turn.
Can I like help her in any way?
She's
Like
lying dead.
stabilize her?
You can try and make a medicine check. If you pass it, she's stabilized, which means she doesn't take death saving throws anymore, but also isn't conscious. That is actually that will do. You just have to be 10 or more.
Well, good.
So essentially, you stop, put a hand on her bleeding chest and stops the bleeding. So she will no longer take this saving throws.
Great. I've still got chill touch going with my incantation.
Mm-hmm. And
Because
But that was on the one who's dead.
Yeah,
And
but
your
I can
hand
move it.
it's movable because
You
it's
keep
an
it going,
incantation.
and
Yeah.
I can move it from targets.
Okay.
Nice.
So
I'll just roll it in the next one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that hits.
Great.
And it's necrotic. That's good because if it was cold, it would have resistance.
Nope, it's necrotic because I'm an evil bastard.
So that's 4 points of damage. Okay.
That was the least evil laugh I've ever heard, by the way.
That was more of a giggle, actually.
Giggity.
And speaking of, it's actually this turn, and he's going to take a bite attack, and
Oh, nope, it doesn't.
it doesn't hit. Okay, and
No.
claws.
That does.
That does damage, and it deals 8 points of slashing damage.
I'm not amused. I am one unhappy dragonborn.
Yep. Okay.
I'm just here people slashing in there.
Yeah,
I'm
you
so
have
close.
some. Essentially, if you want to, at any point, if you want to come in and help Bird, you do that with.
You feel free.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll come in and help him.
Okay, click your and roll initiative then. Just to get it.
Just drag the down girl out of here, please.
And I think we were at. I think that's actually your turn now. And she's no longer. Remove that.
I can't reach her from here because of a big fat thingy standing in front of me.
I can help you. Just
I
say
feel like-
something.
Wouldn't
Tell
I
us
Marrakesh,
about
can't
the
tell
way.
you to move.
Just say something. Well, that's the issue, isn't it?
wouldn't
Say the
Marrakesh,
thing that made me move you last time.
wouldn't Marrakesh have had to be
Let
standing
me look
over
at my
her to
words
do his
here.
spell?
All right. The bird is looking up his words.
I did my spell the last round, so no.
No fucking many words.
Have you really not have anybody say move in your
I have.
You have definitely heard Sandriel say it.
Say move girl or something.
Okay. I had heard the guard in the Marshall said
Hmm?
please, and then I'm going to use the words that I heard from. I don't remember if it was Azrael or it was Sandriel say move.
I think it was Asriel.
Move.
Move.
So I'm going to say please move with the voices from
The
those.
two voices there.
Don't you have like girl or something? Otherwise, I'll just move
Please
randomly.
move.
I don't think
I've got nothing, mate. I've got nothing.
Say her name.
If he hasn't heard that name, then
I haven't heard shit.
yep.
Wouldn't you have heard it in the round where?
I'm going to
That
poke you
get
on the
recorded.
shoulder and say please move.
Okay.
Well, I'm stuck.
And I assume that's all that you. Well, Nira is lying on the floor, so you can't walk over. I'll just move her out. Just knowing that she is lying there.
You could teabag her if you wanted.
That would be very inappropriate. Also because she hasn't really done anything harmful to anyone.
Also, I still haven't
yeah, but
decided
it's-
whether I'm wearing a skirt or pants yet.
This one can't do
Why
anything.
not both?
Sandriel, it's your turn.
Because that's dumb.
Yes, it is my turn. I shall. I guess I'll do magic missile on the one in the front.
Mhm.
since I used my bonus action last round to get a spell slot.
Yep. 7 points of force damage, and that's against the first one.
Yep,
Oh, I actually didn't remember
that
to
one.
read. Yep. It's this magic spear flies out and sort of explodes as it hits this creature, and it falls over dead.
Yay!
Yay.
That's another one down.
Another one bites the dust.
Mm-hmm.
Dum, dum, dum.
Okay. And that brings us to Asriel.
Yes, who is close to dying.
Hey, I could have not cast that spell, then you'd be significantly closer.
Mm-hmm.
It was not a bad thing for you. It was just, I am considering what to do since I am close to dying.
You can squeeze behind Mortiz, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can try.
Please no.
And stand on top of the dead girl. Or unconscious
Yeah.
girl. Whom I'm gonna try to move next
It's
round.
not like she's gonna hurt more.
Well, essentially, you also now have a free shot at the next ones if you want to
Yeah.
do that.
That's the thing.
And you still have advantage on regular attacks. So
Mhm.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Haven't you
because
used
have...
the spell since then?
no, because I
No,
used
we have-
incantation,
Incantation,
Oh,
which is
okay.
which makes
Well-
it not a spell technically.
yeah.
Then I guess I would try and shoot the guy in front of me.
Okay.
See what happens.
With advantage.
With
That's so
advantage.
lucky.
With advantage.
Roll the damage. 8 piercing. Nice.
Not
Definitely.
too shabby.
Nope, that's definitely.
How happy are you right now for that
Yep.
advantage?
I am
That's
very grateful.
Can we take a short smoking break?
Yeah, I also need to go to the bathroom, so. Right. We are ready to go. Asriel had just used a turn to shoot with the nearest of these dretches with her bow, and it went well, so that is the end of her turn. Moving on
They're
to
not undead, right?
the Wadwa.
The Dretches, they aren't undead, right?
No, they're fiends.
Yeah.
They could be undead fiends, you don't know.
No.
No.
Okay, just making sure.
I would specifically say that they don't look like they're alive. That's moving on to this one. He can't do anything. So this one, Mortiz.
More javelins.
More
Would
javelins.
you I was about to say, would you like to switch place?
As long as you have them.
You can stay there.
As long as you have them, you can. Yeah, as long as you have them, you can throw them.
Let another almost dead person.
That will hit,
In
and
front.
that I presume you are hitting this one,
Hmm.
right? That one is now dead.
Nice.
I can get the.
Remember to loot your javelins afterwards.
Yeah.
Essentially, that's the thing that I will say that it's sort of you're doing that naturally. I'm not. It's more of with such big weapons. It's not like suddenly-
Where did it go?
It's not like it disappears now. Where to bolts and stones from a sling, it's more like that could disappear or break.
What about the
But-
one I missed? Just like went flying off the side of a rock wall somewhere.
You can get that back. Well, essentially that was about it would have hit around here, I think. So you can pick that up when you can get to where Asriel is currently standing.
Sure.
Okay, so that's another of the dredges down. And actually, I just need at this point to do something here. Let's see what is left. That is number. Okay, with that number 9, number 8, and number 5, I believe. Yes. Okay, so I will make. Let's see. And number 8. And number 5.
That wisdom, though.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Okay, so that is.
They are not smart beasts.
That's essentially.
They're not wise beasts.
Yeah, that's more correctly.
And even then, they only have -1.
Mm-hmm. You as you've thrown the javelin and killed this one dredge, you see two of the. Well, you only see one of them from. Let me actually see if you have a line of sight. Yeah, you would have a line of sight. So you see two of the dredges jumping in what appears to be a hole and disappearing.
Super Mario style.
Essentially, they're definitely going away.
Wop, wop, wop.
No longer a part of this combat. Okay. That leads us to Nira, who can't do anything but doesn't take death saving throws. This one is dead. Marrakesh.
Hi.
So it's just the critical fail one that's still there.
No,
So-
that's the only one that cleared the saving throw.
So the Dragonborn here is still down.
Tiefling.
Tiefling. Yeah.
Yeah. She's unconscious, but she's stable.
Okay. Can I like grab her and pass her behind me to the fucking paladin?
Yeah, that's
feel
gonna
like-
be an athletics to pick her up and drag her. Essentially switching place with her.
Given
That
his
would be-
strength, he's just going to collapse in a ball when you put him on.
Well,
I've
that
got good strength.
yeah.
No, I
it's
mean,
not, and she isn't
bird's
the heaviest
strength.
character.
Oh yeah.
But essentially, you're switching places with her so that she's essentially being carried to here.
Yeah.
Yep. And I'll just move you.
Yeah.
Right. This one died. This one died.
Yeah, and I can't
Arr.
see anything, so
What?
I can't see any of the creatures, so I'm just gonna do nothing more.
Where did your token go?
I don't fucking know. Did
I
you
think you
delete it?
killed him.
No, I did not. I moved it. I didn't delete it.
There, I'm back.
I don't know what happened.
I don't either.
You essentially just saw Marrakesh drag the unconscious Nira.
And disappear and get back again.
Use the teleport spell.
It's magic. Okay,
It's a
I'm
magic.
gonna cast Cure Wounds on Naira.
Okay. And you are in range, so you can touch her. 6 points. Add that to her sheet. And she gets back on her feet and sort of coughs up a little bit of blood and wipes it off her face and gives you and smiles up at you. Thank you. Okay, this one is gone. Sandriel, it's your turn. You only saw one of the creatures essentially jump into something that you couldn't see and then disappear.
Hmm. Can I see anything in this area?
That's essentially the pit that was described earlier. It's a big black hole that you cannot see the bottom of, even if you were to have a lit torch.
Is there any rocks around here that I can see? Just right around me, any I can pick up?
Make a investigation check to check
Don't
the
you have a
nearby area.
torch?
I don't want to use my torch for what I'm about to do. Investigation?
Okay, then.
Investigation.
She's gonna throw.
I'm
Stone
getting
down.
scared.
Okay. What sort of rock are you looking for? Like a fist-sized one?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there are a couple of those around.
Can I use my light spell on it
Mm-hmm.
and then toss it down the hole?
Yeah, you can. And you follow the lights as it falls, and essentially, eventually you hear a ding, 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 and you see the light sort of hopping away from out of sight. Essentially, it hit the bottom and rolled away from what you could see, but it's very far down.
Okay, well that is good information.
Everybody jump!
Do I have any movement left?
You have only basically looked around and picked up a rock and dumped it into a hole. So, yeah, I would say you still have an action and movement left. But, well, there isn't much to do movement-wise.
Yeah, I can't really shove past anyone without having to shove past another one.
Yeah, essentially.
Okay. I think that's my turn.
Okay. Asriel, it's your turn. You just saw the dredge in front of you being impaled by a javelin from Mortis right behind you. And you also saw the two dredges in front of you essentially jump into what appears to be a hole of some sort.
Yeah. I would like to first turn my head and say thank you to Mortis for killing one of them.
Okay.
Then I would like to move up here and try and shoot the last one.
Okay. And you still have advantage, I believe?
Do you know his name is Mortis?
No, I'm gonna turn my head and just say thank you. I didn't say thank you, Mortis.
Yes, you did.
My character didn't. It just said thank you.
I also don't think that she knows his name. I don't think any of you know.
Nobody knows
none
each
of us
other.
know each other's name. It was just to
I
clarify.
think I asked him
that was
who he is at some point.
before or after you met me.
Really in the start, before we met.
Well,
Yeah,
then I wouldn't know either.
nobody answered.
I don't think you got a reply.
I think nobody has said their name yet.
You did ask him, that's right, but he didn't reply. He was just
Well,
staring
I
at
just
you in the wrong
refer to
way.
him as boy.
Well, that seems to be
anyways,
Here,
I would like
boy.
to say thank you to him.
all right. Well, that short
Whether
roll
he
attack
understands
Asriel, and I believe you still have advantage on the roll. Well, that will hit.
Damn.
Look at the damage. Ooh, 10 damage. Nice. Have I done anything like with this guy? No, I have not, because you have not been in combat before. So the arrow hits, and this last dredge seems to snarl at you and really doesn't take well to being damaged, oddly enough. Let's see. Do you want to move any further? You still have 25 feet of movement left.
Well, I guess I could move backwards, but that won't do anything either.
Okay.
So I'll just stay here.
That leaves us to this one who has gone, and this one is going to move here, and I will move you away.
And it's going to kill me, but whatever.
So he's going to try and kill you. Correct words
Big
here.
difference there.
Well,
I'm a pessimist.
there are a couple of things that can insta-kill you in D&D. These are not in possession of any of them.
It's not doing necrotic damage.
18.
It hits.
It hits.
But it's gotta slap the silly out of her.
No, it's biting.
Yeah.
Well,
Please
I
watch
am
your
not
head off.
dead, but
Are you down?
no.
All right. Well
I
then.
have one. health
Well,
point left.
then it's going to make its claw attacks against you.
Yep. I'm so dead. Yep, that hits.
That
I'm
hits
down.
that hits as well.
I'm dead.
Didn't you have 16 armor class?
Nope, I have 14.
Oh, well.
All right. Well, that's Asriel sort of downs as this
Bye-bye.
one. You can just click your token and then add the X. There is the round thing with essentially looks like an analog stick from a PlayStation controller instead of the gear. There is there we go. Yeah. Well, you're not down yet. That means that X means you're dead. Just select any of the items.
If you scroll all the way down, the third one to the left is one knocked down.
It really doesn't matter all that much. We know that
That one.
The
he's
one on your
currently
knees.
We all went down.
Whatever, I'm dead.
Okay. Mortis, it's your turn. You should also remember that you choose to rage if you want.
Yeah. Can I just, can I run here-ish?
Yeah.
Like,
as
obviously not under her, but...
No.
I just run and hide underneath the dying dragonborn.
like that.
Asriel is currently on the ground, unconscious.
Good.
All right.
That's
And
useful, because I was going to try and barge past you, but no. This is much
That's
better.
useful, because I was gonna try and rape her.
Oh,
Jesus
Fucking
dog.
Christ.
no.
He is
Come
a
on.
dog.
We have to beep you out, Sandriel.
I'm not a duck.
All right.
It's YouTube, not national TV.
Exactly. I assume you want to attack this
Mm-hmm.
dredge. That's not gonna hit. And that is going to hit. 6 points of damage. Still alive.
Damn it.
Still alive.
Slap him silly.
It's Nira's turn. He's alive again. And she is going to try to move past Marrakesh and makes him aware about it by essentially tapping his back and say, I'm going to try and get past you.
Don't be alarmed.
Sure.
Okay, you're helping, so that's an
Yeah.
acrobatics with advantage, which is not something Nira is good at.
Is this
Well,
advantage getting past me?
That'll do.
Because I'm huge.
So she moves there, and does she have a line of sight? So she is going to Eldritch Blast once again.
Couldn't you thwart one more forward?
No.
And that will hit, and it deals.
Wow.
Yeah,
8
she doesn't
points
need
of
to move one block forward.
damage. So,
Oh.
so this purple spear, as from before, pierces through and lights up the cave for a short second, and then it just blasts through into and through this creature here, and very much killing it pretty much instantaneously. All right, that clears out that battle.
Yeah.
That was
I'm just gonna stop my incantation because there's no need for it right now.
exactly, and
I'd like to get my javelins.
Yeah, I assume you and you get that back.
Good.
And arrows for the short bow, Asriel, you can get half back, and essentially,
Do I wake up or do I still have to do a saving throw because I'm down?
Could I go help her somehow?
Yeah, you can. We're out of combat now, so essentially you're not going to have to roll for it. But
Yeah, I'm going to ask the same as the Tiefling did.
Yeah.
Where I'm going to try to get past you to Marrakesh.
No.
I'm gonna.
Let the dragonborn
I'm
die.
gonna swing my sword at him.
Oh god.
With your strength, please.
Damn it!
Yeah, no.
so the bird sort of flicks his sword in frustration, but it's
And
not
just
really-
brushes off the fur on my back.
Damn it.
What was that noise?
These. Okay.
Well,
And,
saving throw then.
See if I should.
I'm just gonna let it die now because it can't get past.
You sort of hear a slight groaning from the back end of the cavern, and are you going to investigate? Mortis is leaving the dragonborn behind. Nira is going to try and make a medicine check to stabilize. Medicine, that is possibly pretty good. Yeah, that'll do.
Jesus.
So
Effective.
you no longer have to take saving throws. You are still at 0 HP.
For fuck's sakes, Mortis.
As you do this, Mortis, and anyone who want to move up into the back end of the cave can do so now. Nira is going to be standing by Asriel, essentially trying to help as best as she can.
Because she's a nice person.
Can I get just past her and get to the side of Asriel?
Yeah, you can get to here. There's room for that.
Yeah, I'm gonna use lay on hands and give her 5 points of health.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can I see the person?
Yeah, I was just about to get to that.
Okay, sorry.
I would like to thank the bird and Nira before all of this. Blah blah.
And for the first time, you, Asriel, notice that Nira actually smiles. It's a vague smile, but there's definitely a hint of a smile on her face.
Oh,
She
it's
just needed
first
some
love.
exciting stuff in her life.
So for the people in the back of the cavern and seeing that that Asriel now is all right and, well, at least alive, Nira will also move up to the back end cavern.
I'm gonna move up as well, slowly, since
Right.
I'm just
In the
back.
Yeah. So just move yourself up to where you essentially. So
My connection to the server has been interrupted. Awesome.
it's just a minor hiccup that doesn't happen too often.
It's happened like 5 times to me this
There we
session.
go.
Okay, well, in the back of this cave, you see what appears to look like one of the town's guard. She has the same skin color, slightly more tan than what you remember the Marshall back in Cyndarr had. She's wearing a now bruised up small shield and a long sword that she seems to be ready to fend herself off with. She seems to definitely have taken some hits as both her shins are pretty badly clawed up. She's sort of definitely huffing, but seems to be all right, all things considered. And she looks up. You, did you make that loud sound before?
Guilty as charged.
Well,
Your elf
I'll
did it.
say yes.
She's
It was to kill the monsters.
she looks up at you
And our
And our
teammates.
friend.
she sort of seems to ignore
He's
that part,
fine.
Because of me.
That may have saved my life. I went in.
Oh, look at that!
Yeah, but you killed
So
me.
I
It's fine.
It didn't kill you. It made you unconscious and at the edge of death.
I'm gonna slap
There's
her
a
across the face.
difference.
Eye
She
for
showed
an
up.
eye.
She gets up and she seems to definitely be staggering a bit. You can see that the arm that she's using to wield her shield seems to be hanging a bit sloppy by her side, and she's moving with what appears to be a limp from her injuries, but she is moving. I should have gone back for help rather than try to do this alone, but I thought I could take
Yes.
them. They seemed so small.
So is the bird.
Can I try and gently lick her wounds?
No.
No, I will try to stop him with every part of my
She-
being. That's
I'll slap
disgusting.
him.
I'll just yell out, no, boy!
I will
Bad
grapple
boy."
him to the ground. I don't give a shit.
Okay,
I want to see this.
for the grapple, make an athletics check, and what he's
Fuck.
make an athletics check to combat it.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Can I hit him over the nose with my religious book?
So essentially, with this roll, there's a struggle between the tall elf and the human barbarian trying to wrestle out of each other, and it seems pretty weird.
I've literally like thrown myself at him.
Right now, it's at a stalemate. She's
Can I pitch in and hit Mortice over the nose with my prayer book?
Bad dog. Bad dog.
Yes, you can do that.
Just like a light tap, but enough that he
Yeah.
understands it.
The human seems to be a bit weirded out by the situation, but all in all, she seems mostly relieved that she is alive, and she sort of said, "Well, there was only a couple of them when I entered. They started," and she points towards this hole that you now see have sort of like deep down have sort of like an orange reddish glow that definitely doesn't appear natural. But
Does it seem far?
does it see what?
Does it seem far, the hole? Does it go deep?
Not particularly, but it's again there's this red shimmer deep down in where it's somewhat some 50 feet down in it.
I'm tempted to go down.
Can
Let's
I
jump.
grab the human lady and just like gently push her towards the exit?
The hole.
Yeah.
Not the
The
whole
exit, not the hole.
The
Uh,
king
Put
is
in there.
going to do a
She-
drastic move and going down.
She sort of she
I'll cast a pebble down there.
essentially she
Jump face down.
I will
essentially
accompany it with "We will get you home safe."
she
Ish.
Bye
nods,
bye Central.
she nods and she sheathes her sword one and sort of nods slightly. I can walk myself. You know, I appreciate the company.
We need to get her
And,
back safe. You can tell
So
us.
We need to
Sandriel is
escort
going
her,
with
else we're
her
not
and the
gonna
rest of us
get
are
our
going in the
money.
hole.
So she starts making her way out the cave.
Emil,
Mhm.
can I use detect magic?
Yes.
Do you have
Do
that
I
spell?
Yes, I have.
Mhm.
Do I sense anything magical?
Yes, you do actually. It seems like the reddish glow is definitely magic of nature. It seems to be from what you've basically been taught as a paladin that this seems to be, although albeit a smaller version, this seems to be one of the portals that you essentially need to enter or enter to go to the 9 levels of hell.
Let's jump right in.
I'm going down.
So it's a
Let's
level
go.
skip.
Before they jump down, can I just say that it might be a good idea
What?
to go back and
Also,
stock up on?
also, what you know from these types of portals is that they are usually one way only. It's not very often that that anything goes back to the 9 hells, and it's a bit.
Can I kick a pebble down so I can see it go through?
I will throw my pebble down there. I want that out of my fucking inventory.
Okay, do that.
Yeah, and it goes through the red sort of looks almost like a bubble in of soap essentially, and it ripples a bit when the rocks fly through, but you can definitely hear the rock on the other side going hitting stone and whatever is down that hole.
I'm going to look over at Marcus just saying, go?
Can I attempt to pick up the bird and put him in the hole?
Yes, I will help.
Yes.
Do this!
Essentially, I will rule against that.
Oh,
Lame.
Damn
That
it.
means no one should go in the hole.
I'm just going to say it again. Might be a good idea to stock up on essential things.
Nira also
like my spell slots. Not like this.
Yep.
Nira also agrees. Yes, I think we could all use a bit of patching up.
Nah, I'm fine.
Let's take a long rest.
Yeah,
Yep,
right
I
That's
here.
would
so
not
nice.
do that because I can't use my dragon's breath before I have a long rest.
Yeah, let's
Right
all
around
have
the
long
hole so it
rest
won't
right
surprise.
here. Okay, I'm going to follow them out.
It's going to
Sure.
be just like with the fire. I'm gonna start a fire here. We should move out. It's like, okay. Gonna move out.
Yeah, basically.
So
Just on the sad note. Oh,
so-
before we do that, no, never mind. I was about to say we could look at the creatures, but no, they're still naked creatures without anything on them.
they don't have
Yep.
anything of interest on them.
Yeah. So
Pervert.
nope.
So you make your way back, and it's getting close to midnight. It's a
Neil,
clear.
when we get outside, can I cut off the head of one of them and bring it with us?
Yes.
You're so disgusting.
Well, that's yeah. You can do
Well,
that.
good thing
Have to
for
find one.
That's
Like,
actually smart, because then they know what their problem is.
Yes.
this is your
Yeah, a
problem.
fucking barbarian running around with a head inside a fucking town.
So
Yeah, you do that.
yes.
you might find difficulty finding one with a head still intact.
So you begin to make your way back towards the city, and on the way there, Nira, the human, though she's hurt, she knocks on the door on the mill, and you can see that now the lights have been closed. It seems that the person inside have gone to sleep, and after a bit the light comes on, and he sort of peeks out the window again, and she nods up to him. You can sleep easy now. It have been dealt with. And he sort of thank you, and locks the window, and you see the light being shut off once again as he goes back to sleep. And you can see the light from the city in the distance as you approach it from the north. And there are not at this point there are no town guard outside the walls. The large gates have been shut for the night. And the human again goes up and knocks on the door, and there is a small hatch where someone looks out and essentially looks out, and you can see someone carrying a torch, definitely lighting out.
Could I just for fun have lifted the head up in front of the hatch?
Yeah, you can. And
Oh god! Someone
sort of
slap him.
You sort of hear in the distance, ah! Like someone, but eventually they open the gate. You see more of them having drawn their weapons. You see a couple of crossbows pointed at you, and a few helpers down, and they're like, "Oh, is it clear?" Sort of asking out.
Just gonna say yes.
Okay, and they also spot the human townsguard with you. Oh, and they sort of applaud you and nod and say good job, and basically pat your back, and one of them says, well, the marshal will be very happy about that. So you head into the marshal's office, and where there were 3 guards that you could see out in the large hall before, 2 standing by essentially the prison and barracks for this. There's now only 1, and he's just standing by the prison, and it looks like it's been a long day, and he's pretty much falling asleep. He's like, as you open the door into the keep, he's like, I will announce your arrival. And he sort of leaves his post and scuttles up the stairs to the upstairs bit, and you can hear him sort of call out, Marshal, the adventurers have returned with your daughter. And you can hear from upstairs, you can hear the scuttling of someone quickly getting dressed and rushing out, and he rushes past all of you and essentially goes to, in a very fatherly, very overbearingly kind of bear-ish hug, goes to nearly fling himself at his daughter and almost sobbing to see her safe return. And after a few where she's like, kind of hurting shoulder a bit, he goes on to wipe tears off of his face and from his beard, and he's like, I don't know how to thank you enough for this. You definitely deserve this reward. And he's sort of go over to what seems to be a safe with wooden and iron bindings to it. Not the safest looking safe, but it seems essentially, and he picks up the coin purse that you saw the farmer delivered to him earlier. This is I don't know what to say. I will obviously need a full report, he sort of says to.
And I'm going to give him the head.
And he's sort of, what is that?
On behalf of the bird, I'd like to say this is what your city's problem is.
And what is that?
I'm going to draw with my quill on my unanswered letter. I'm going to draw on the backside of it the hole with the portal down, and then that going to make a hatch that goes over it afterwards.
Okay, and he sort of looks at it, and does this mean what I think it means?
And a nod.
that it's a portal to some sort of place where these creatures come from.
I'm eagerly nodding.
Oui.
He sort of
Oui, monsieur.
he furrows his brow at this. That's definitely concerning. He sort of, even though he's basically essentially in a nightgown of some sort. Had actually been sleeping, and now has been woken up in the middle of the night. Although he doesn't mind seeing that his daughter is now back safe. He quickly sits down by the desk that you saw in the main hall and begins to write a letter. As he also opens up this coin purse and says, "I think this is fitting. There is 5,500 gold pieces. How you split them? I would reckon that is a fine sum, given that there are 5 of you." He sort of doesn't acknowledge Nira, although she's also keeping herself a bit in the distance, but she doesn't complain about it, seemingly preferring to be not in the center of attention. And he also goes to write this, and I will have another item for you as well. Sort of digs through a shelf, somewhat below the desk. This was very useful to me once. Perhaps it can be useful to you as well. And we just have to...
Wait, how much gold did we get each?
100?
Essentially, you get 100 gold pieces each.
Yeah.
Great. I'm rich now.
Yeah, we all are.
I got 105. Woo.
And while you are at it, you can also all add 800 points of experience, if I'm not mistaken. No,
800?
No, 400. Sorry, 400.
400.
Yeah.
That's 1,025 for me total.
So we are level 3 now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That you are indeed. Let's see. Sure.
Why does it keep deleting what my goddamn hit dice is?
I don't know.
So we have how many hit die now?
3.
3.
You have 3. It's
Okay.
essentially 1 per level. It's very, very easy to remember.
Where's my fucking dice?
Motherfucker. So I've got 16 health now.
You don't have any constitution modifiers?
I've got +1 in constitution modifier.
Then you have then you add 2 to your life.
Yeah, I had 14 before.
Okay.
I now
Where
have
do you
17.
go up a level, by the way?
Add 900 experience.
Well, then I'm not level 3 yet, because I didn't join you guys at the first place.
Oh, I rolled the wrong dice.
There's shared experience, and I will. It's much easier to keep it.
Oh
like,
my gosh.
Okay, so I should just put up my experience point.
Roll the same as I did.
Yeah. So what did anyone else land at?
1,025.
1,025.
Okay.
Let's see.
Oh man, I know another spell now.
I know a lot of new stuff.
I know one more spell.
I know
What item
2
did
new
you get?
spells. 3 new spells.
Okay, I've completely forgotten. What do I roll to check what my hit points are? Yeah.
You roll. I believe it is. Let me just check.
It's been far too long since we did this last.
I get from the...
So, Emil, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
My class has, at this level, a different spells known amount than the amount of, like, spells I can pick.
Yes.
It has a lower amount. What does that mean then?
What? A lower amount? What do
Yeah,
you?
spells known as 4,
Uh-huh.
and then I have 4 first level spells.
Yeah. And then
second
you have
level.
2 second level spells and 4 first levels.
Yeah.
By the way, the item that he was finding, I would like to take that.
Yeah, just about that. It is a minor ring of Dwarvish, which means that the bearer can speak and understand the language of the DM's choice while this item is on the bearer's person.
I feel we should roll for it.
Yeah.
I already took it. Fuck you.
Fuck no. I will try to steal it from you. I don't give a shit.
Well, it's going to be difficult now that he is wielding it.
So
He
he
didn't say
can,
he wielded
can
it, he
he
said he
actually speak
took it.
Dwarvish now?
He can speak and understand a language, so you can technically talk Dwarfish now.
Does anyone else speak Dwarvish?
Nope. Well, except the dwarf who you don't have with you.
So we can have him translate if we go back and find him.
Mm-hmm.
I took
Translate
Eldritch Blast.
now. The
That's my
bird
spell.
speak normally.
Well, relatively, because no one else understands Dwarfish. It's still, but at least now he can talk. He just have to talk in Dwarfish.
Yeah, it was just that Sandra said he can translate. Like,
yeah.
how would he translate?
Yeah. Did you get your?
It's really dumb to let the character that doesn't speak very much, that isn't able to say a lot of words, have the one that learns extra languages.
But
Just saying.
I can speak Dwarvish now.
Mm-hmm.
So I can actually speak.
Which.
So we can bring the dwarf with us and he can translate.
That's exactly what I said.
One way.
Asriel, did you fix your hit points?
No, because you never answered my question.
1d8 plus your Constitution modifier.
I get my heritage now. Yeah.
I have another question. I get meta magic
Ring
now.
of minor dwarvish speech.
So it's just speech. Well, I don't want it in it.
Well.
Well, I kind of do, but
that's better than nothing. So
yep.
That is now your current level of HP.
We all roll shit for health. We're so fucked.
Oh, there's also. I just need to roll something. Or rather, hang on. This could be fun.
With my prophecy.
Ooh. Ho, 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 ho. Right, I should probably whisper that. How was it?
Oh man, I need to read so much.
Yeah, see, how was it? That was like. Let's see, how was it that I.
Oh man, if I choose that one, I can start making potions at level 6.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
man. What should I put as weight of the ring? Just 0.1.
It's usually 0 when it's like a ring or a talisman or something like that.
Well, the holy symbol, the amulet, it has a weight of 1.
My talisman has a weight of 0. It's a small talisman though, so.
Mine is like my entire body is a cross.
You're just carrying a cross on your back, Jesus style.
I am Jesus.
That's why I keep dying, so they can resurrect you so often. Oh man, level 10 I can enchant weapons or armor.
So did that the amount of spells known, does that mean I have to unlearn one of my spells?
No.